Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. The wait is over. Episode 9 of the D&T Wrestling Show. We're back at you. I am your host, the D in the D&T, Daniel, joined by my co-host with the most, the T in the D&T, Mr. TNT, Tyler. Tell the people how you're feeling. Tell them how we're doing today.
That was kind of
you like that one? You like that? See, I knew we could bring that one up. I like that one. I like that one. Come on now. Tell them how you're feeling. Tell them how you're feeling.
Nation. What is up, D&T Nation? Actually feeling great. It's starting to get a little bit of summer weather here in Canada. So we're smooth, like 65 degrees. That's our summer. So it's really, really great. Decent weekend of wrestling. We definitely got it wrong. We thought Saturday Night Main Event was this past Saturday. It's actually this Saturday coming up now. So we'll see if we can watch it. We'll see if we can stream and get on there. So
that's right. We did say that on the last episode. Yeah, we totally meant this coming weekend, y'all. That's what we said.
For sure.
It's fake news that we said anything other. Yeah. So but we'll be trying to stream that Saturday when that comes up. But what we got here for y'all today is an episode about, like Tyler said, both the Friday Night Smackdown and the Monday Night Raw that took place this past weekend. We didn't get the normal just Friday Night Smackdown episode out to y'all. I was a little, not necessarily sick, but my allergies were a little too much to put an episode out. I would have been sneezing and sniffling throughout the entire thing, so we decided to just make another big weekend episode like we did last week, but this will not be the norm going forward, we promise. We'll usually try to stick to about 2 episodes a week, so we'll get into it. Like I said, Tyler, I'll go ahead and just get us started. When Friday Night Smackdown came last Friday on the 16th, we started off the show with a promo of the Bloodline. I mean, like classic SmackDown, starting off with the Bloodline. It feels like we're back in 2023 again. It's crazy.
SmackDown Bloodline, Raw, and Bloodline. Judgment Day.
Raw and Judgment Day, exactly. We're right back.
Same old.
Exactly. So, but this time it is not Roman Reigns, it's not Paul Heyman, it's not Jay, it's not Jimmy. It is your completely new Timu Bloodline. Not even Tama Tonga or Tongaloa. Those guys are old news now at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy how fast we're going through this. So it's Solo and Jacob Fatu and the newly named JC Mateo. I guess we'll touch on our opinions on that name here in a second, but I'll kind of just get through what would happen here. So the point of this promo was for them to come out, get some actual heat, not like basically what's been going on for Jacob, which is just people cheering for him and cheering, not booing him at whatsoever. So the idea is that Solo comes out, he's speaking for the group, they're booing him, not necessarily Jacob. And Solo's kind of just saying, like, we brought this title back to the Bloodline, we brought JC in, JC helped us achieve that, like, JC, thank you. But he's kind of trying to take the credit, if that makes sense here. Like, he is saying Solo or Jacob did it. He's like, you did it. And he starts going like, I did this and I did, and he keeps going, and he starts doing Jacob's little, one-liners. He starts going through them, but then Jacob like stops him immediately, and then he kind of goes into it, and he's like, well, I don't know about this. I'm Jacob. I don't need nobody. And I actually kind of like this from Solo. I think this is one of the more interesting promos of his in a while.
This was good.
Because he's like, Jacob, what was that you used to say to me? You used to say it all the time, man. How did it go again? And it's funny because it's like that for whatever reason, this is the character Jacob played for the first few months, not that long ago. All he said was, I love you, Solo. No one forgets this. This was not long ago. I love you, Solo. And now he's obviously like the biggest thing on SmackDown. But they're kind of using that against him. So Solo's like, you used to be the guy following me around. I want to hear it from you. He's like, I want to hear you say, I love you, Solo. And they're kind of being like contentious here. The whole point is that Solo's trying to be like, yeah, like, I know you have the belt, and I know maybe you could beat me up, but like, really, who's the boss here? That's what we're getting. And then it doesn't take long for LA Knight's music to hit. LA Knight's music hits. All of a sudden, the crowd's into it. Oh my God, LA Knight's here. It is a little interesting. I guess we'll get to it here in a second, but kind of this is obvious that they're sticking LA Knight in this feud longer. He's not leaving this feud. He's continuing, I guess, after the U.S. belt. That's the idea here. So they play LA Knight's music. He doesn't come from the stage. He comes from behind, kind of hits. I actually forget who he hits. I think it's Solo. It might have been Jacob, but I'm pretty sure
I can't remember.
it was. I want to say it was. He comes in, hits Solo from behind, runs out of the ring, runs back out, and that's kind of the whole vibe. It's just LA Knight got his lick in, and this essentially set up a match for later in the night. The idea is it's not going to be Solo versus LA Knight. It's actually going to be JC Mateo in his first like singles match against LA Knight later. So Tyler, little bit of a long-winded description on how they opened this up, but we got two kind of parts to this: the feud with the two at the beginning, and then obviously LA Knight kind of sticking into this feud. What are your thoughts on how SmackDown opened up last week?
I thought it was actually really good. That's probably some of the best promo work that Solo has done.
Absolutely.
Honestly, Solo gets a bad rep, but he does a really, really good job. Like he really does.
I agree.
He's a different type of heel where he's like a funny heel, but he's trying to be serious. Like
he's a little goofy.
He's a little goofy, but that's what makes him good. That's what people love about him, right? Mm-hmm. Because the gestures, and he's like when he was cut off, he's like, yeah, you know what I mean, da da da. Like all that.
He did it really good too.
Like,
I can't. I'm not even gonna try to do it, but like he did it. He copied him. It was funny.
It was funny. But no, really, really going off of like, Jacob, you know what you used to say, like, I'm the boss still. You still love me. Like I love you, you love me. We're supposed to be like. You know what I mean?
Come on, what happened? What happened to that? Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
I brought you here. I'm surprised he didn't say that. Like, I brought you here. Or maybe he did, and I'm just forgetting it, but he should say that.
I don't know if he said that specifically,
yeah, I don't
but
think he did,
he's but that, and then JC Mateo, I don't know what they could have just went with JC, dude. They really could have just went with JC. What the hell's the Mateo part for? It just makes no sense.
I think I don't remember what it is exactly, but his name in New Japan Wrestling, I believe, was something similar to Mateo. I'd have to look that up for y'all, or if y'all.
It's just weird. It's just weird. Like Jeff Cobb was bland anyway.
Jeff Cobb was bland, yes. Just for those that don't know, JC is standing for Jeff Cobb, which is like what his name was coming into WWE. I think they could have done a lot better. All the other names in the bloodline obviously fit, and then there's just. I guess the Mateo part is what is supposed to it doesn't really make sense, but whatever. It's too late. You can't just like retrofit the name now. They said it, and they made a point to
just know he's not having any merch sold.
No, and it was funny because Solo's like, and they're doing it, so you know that they're doing a name change. He's like, and this right here is JC Mateo, everyone, and it's like, oh, cool, okay. I'm pretty sure.
They literally said Jeff Cobb last week.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, Cole literally called him Jeff Cobb. It's like, all right, whatever you say.
Yeah, that's the weird part, dude. It's like if you know that you're gonna change the name, like,
yeah,
they probably didn't realize that his name had some like rights connected to it.
So what I was gonna say, what I know sometimes is that they don't tell certain members of the show that certain things will happen so that their reaction is genuine. I could see it being that the announcers weren't exactly told Jeff Cobb would show up so that their reaction could feel genuine, and Michael Cole might have not gotten the memo that, well, don't call him Jeff Cobb, right? That might be it.
Yeah.
That's completely out of my behind, y'all, so I have no idea.
No, you might be right.
What the story is, but cool. Yeah, I pretty much everything you said, it pretty much covers how I feel about it. Like I said, they set up a match later in the night, which we'll kind of get to here in a little bit. But I do like Solo's mic work here. I do think he's gotten so much better than when me and you started watching again a couple years ago, where he was really just the lackey for. I think
he didn't talk at all.
He didn't talk at all. That's actually right. He didn't say a word.
John Cena was like, "Oh, this guy just doesn't speak," or whatever.
He doesn't say anything. Yeah. Or they used to make fun of him because remember The Rock made that joke about how Solo was going to sing the national anthem, and it was like, and Solo kind of laughed a little. But it's really great character development for Solo. I think. Everybody pays attention to Dom as kind of like a younger person that is like a nepo person, like baby or whatever, if you want to call it that, and how the WWE treats him and how they brought him up, built him up. But I think Solo should be kind of looked at in that same way. How like this has always been his life. He is a good bit younger than the other, the Usos, Roman, all them.
He's still like 33.
Yeah, he is not too old. He's not in his 40s or anything. I'm not saying he's as young as Dom, y'all, but the point is like. this has been his whole life, and you can kind of feel that it all kind of seems to be clicking for him now, which is good because he's not old. So there's a lot of time ahead of
Yeah.
him to maybe actually become the tribal chief at some point where it's actually believable and not the like faux tribal chief that they paint him as. But cool, we can go on to the next thing. Just to be
Yep.
clear, because it's like a review from at this point a few days out, we'll just kind of touch on the I guess important, like really big important story beats from SmackDown, and not necessarily hit every single match in promo, just so
Yep.
we can get on to Raw and get to the more recent things. So, Tyler, if you want to take what I
The
guess
next
would be
thing.
that first match right there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the first match, I believe before the match we got a little back stage little promo thing. I think it was with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, right?
You're right. It was Alexa running into Charlotte, and they were kind of
Yeah,
just
and Alexa was like, have you thought about my offer? And Charlotte Flair is like, screw you, basically. But okay, that doesn't really matter. But I just wanted to point that out because the next match does involve Alexa Bliss. It's Alexa Bliss, Chelsea Green, and Michin all for a qualifying match of the Money in the Bank
yep.
qualifier for for a spot, right? So, moral of the story: Alexa Bliss does end up winning. I think that was kind of an obvious choice with all three of those. Alexa Bliss has been obviously getting the push. Chelsea Green just lost her title. Michin is Michin, and you know, she does what she does, right? She's a pretty good wrestler, but not really charismatic in any way. Um, she literally had to start shaking her ass to be somewhat relevant. Unfortunately, I don't want to say it like that, but that's kind of what she did. And anyway,
Yeah.
but
No, I feel you. I
uh,
feel you.
so, but yeah, so Alexa Bliss does end up winning. A pretty good, pretty technical match. I personally love Alexa Bliss how she wrestles. She wrestles very differently than a lot of people in the WWE. Like her finishing moves I love her. Like what the hell is it called? Where she jumps off the top rope and instead of a flip, she does like a turning like
I know what you're
kind of
talking about,
corkscrew
but
thing.
I cannot remember what that's called either. Yeah. No.
Bliss kiss or something like that.
That sounds right.
I don't know, but whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like that's just different than what a lot of people do. Everybody does a flip or a splash. Like she's doing something different. And then obviously the sister Abigail will always be great.
Nah, yeah, that's
Rest
legendary.
rest in peace. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. But so yeah, she ends up winning the match. Nothing too like memorable spot wise in it. Unless I'm not thinking of something that you might be thinking of, but just a good all around match. Again, everybody has their spots in these types of matches. Chelsea looks great. Chelsea, again, is still one of the best women on the roster, I believe. Character wise, in ring wise, she's fantastic. She can work in any situation. So yeah, that's my little take on it. How do you feel about the match?
Yeah, it was all right. Definitely not the best match in the world. Just kind of there for Alexa to win. Michin and Chelsea to get some screen time like they normally do. They kind of like Chelsea and Michin perfectly encapsulate the mid card of women's wrestling right now. So, uh, this match was literally like Chelsea selling, not really doing much of her moves on her own. Maybe some cheating in there, right? Like that's what she does, like with Piper and all that. But
Yeah.
then it really was just Alexa and Michin kind of getting their time in the sun since they're the faces, kind of whatever. And then it just near the end, I can't remember if Michin had gotten distracted by something or like something weird happened to get Michin like out of the situation, and then it ended up get like Alexa found her opportunity to hit yeah, it was like Michin had tried something really over the top, and she ended up like paying for it, which does seem to be like a recurring theme in Michin's
Oh,
matches.
you're so right. You're so yeah,
And
yeah.
then because of that, it's like Chelsea by herself, and Chelsea's feeling all confident, and then Alexa kind of just comes out of nowhere and does Sister Abigail, which was actually
Yep.
really, it was like a really cool way to set it up. So
Yep.
I probably like to finish more than maybe the match itself. Solid, like literally like 2.5 star match, right down the middle. Nothing bad, nothing great, just it was what it was. But important that Alexa Bliss is now in the Money in the Bank. So
I
Alexa's
think she was the
getting
first qualifier.
it's right now. What is it?
She was the first qualifier.
I
Yeah,
think
she
you're
was the
right.
first
Yeah, because
qualifier.
what am I? Yeah, because Friday. Yeah, because we got some on Raw, but yeah, SmackDown would have been first. You're completely correct. So yeah, Alexa Bliss is your first woman in the Women's Money in the Bank. Um, and yeah, now we can go on to the next thing. Unless you had anything else to say.
No, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay, so the next thing that we felt was like important, I actually just kind of grabbed the next two things. One was like a really just quick, short. It was a promo, really. You know, Drew comes out to the ring, and this ends up just being, you know, Drew talking about him being injured, himself being injured, all these things. Like he's like pretty visibly actually like hurt. It's pretty obvious he actually was pretty banged up from that match they had at Backlash. And Drew's whole thing is basically saying like, look, Damian, this is getting out of hand. We're beating the hell out of each other. We got to settle this. Two men in the middle of a cage at Saturday Night Main Event. Let's do it. Like that's the gist of this promo. There's other things he says in there. I think Drew's promos are better like just watched than me sitting here. He doesn't say anything of like massive substance, but he is good at like catchy little one-liners. You know,
he was just pretty much promoting the match on Saturday.
Just promoting the match and just being like, we're gonna settle it in the cage. Let's do it. And we've talked about this on this show. I guess Drew, sorry, not Drew. I guess Damian's thing is just being like a hardcore. It's gone undiscussed, I would say, within WWE circles. Like Damian's thing really has been doing a lot of these hardcore matches. Like that's
Dude, that's pretty much like 90%
he seems to
of
find
his
himself.
matches.
Yeah, exactly. He seems to find himself in pay-per-views like a lot. Since we started watching. I feel like that's, you said 90%. That feels right.
The Puerto Rico match,
Puerto Rico one.
The Steel City match with Sami Zayn,
Yep.
Kevin Owens, and Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Like, what else? The one we just had with Drew McIntyre.
I want to say he was in a couple. Like he was in an elimination chamber, wasn't he? At one point, he was in like.
Yeah, the elimination chamber. But didn't he do something with Seth Rollins too?
I think so. I want to say.
So yeah,
that.
He just
like
all of his
matches
are just like
these where they're hardcore. Yeah. So good for them. I think it should be fun. I'm glad that is on that Saturday Night Main Event card now, because now there's kind of like a really, you know, high energy match to look forward to. Just given that maybe we'll probably end up talking about it you know, on the live episode. I guess we plan on doing, but the Saturday Night Main Event matches end up being a little predictable. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, do you have anything to touch on with this real quick before I go like into the next actual thing? Because it's again, it was like a short.
No,
it was a short promo.
it was promoting the match for a steel cage. Basically, if you ever played WWE 2K My GM mode, a steel cage match resolves all the rivalries. This is probably what this is.
That's what it is. It's just a big send off for them, and I would imagine the next time one of them is like in a belt match, maybe the other one makes them not win it, and then that's kind of it, right? Like that maybe. Or it's one of those things like at the end they're like, you know what, I respect you, man, and we're two giant dudes, so now we're friends. That actually is an angle I see coming down the line where Drew and Damian team up because they're like they bond.
Hot take. I think Damian needs to be a heel.
Yeah, no, I don't. That's
to be interesting.
That's not a bad take at all. I will say he gets a pop in with the crowd in real life. It seems when people like they want to cheer for him. What I'll say though, the problem is like you're right that it's not incredibly convincing that he's like both a big meanie scary guy, but also we cheer for him. Like they're trying really really hard to make him the Undertaker, like really hard to make him the Undertaker, and I just don't think it works. I think you're right. Being kind of like the smarter but still bad guy leader of a heel group, like the Judgment Day, like the Judgment Day.
Don't get me wrong. Damian Priest is wrestling. Like we've talked about it before. Damian Priest wrestling is top tier. Honestly, it's so good. And his matches are actually really like
he
exciting.
Should be in the ring. He should be in matches. And
like
stuff.
him and Gunther SummerSlam. Him and Bad Bunny. Obviously, him and the tag match. Literally, that tag match was like the best match of the year. That a couple years ago. The Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and then the Judgment Day.
Yeah, no, that match was actually really fun. I do remember that.
Like his matches are like up here. His character is just what just kills him. Dude.
Solo, especially,
it really does.
Like, on his own, especially. Yeah, I could like. I think I know he himself might not want to do it, or maybe they just wouldn't see a productive thing out of this. But I mean, maybe there's an angle down the line where Damian comes back to the Judgment Day, and he kind of like kicks Finn out as the leader, if that makes sense, and they have a big feud over it. I could see that being a thing that
like
works.
It would be like. Do that, like what you're doing with Judgment Day, but make him the leader. Like I know Judgment Day has this like
that's what I mean.
I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. No, this can be Damian Priest, and he gets his lackeys or whatever you want to call him, and then he is the leader. He is the leader. He's the big bad, sending his goons after people. You know what I mean? That's what he could do, and I think he could do it really well. I think he could do it really well. He just, you know, I don't know. This, like you said, this big bad character, but you're supposed to be a good guy. Just
Also,
doesn't
yeah, like he doesn't
doesn't work.
actually fight the good guys really much, but if he does, it's they're not really. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing over time to like really latch onto. Like in the moment, though, yeah,
Yeah.
he puts on fun matches. I don't want him. I'm not. This isn't me or us hating on Damien. It's just they need a little bit of a
No, I
change of
literally just said he
direction.
has some of the best
Yeah,
matches in the
exactly.
WWE. Like,
So yeah, that's that promo. To get on to like the next actual match. So this was Solo versus Ray Phoenix versus Jimmy Uso in a triple threat qualifying for the Money in the Bank. So this match was okay. This match was
yeah,
okay. I didn't hate it. I think, you know, it
a
ends
lot of
up
weird styles. A lot of weird
it's a
styles
lot of
in
weird
this
styles
match.
clashing together. Ray is like trying to get them to like help him out doing all these high flying things and like set up these spots, but then Solo is obviously like a actual powerhouse guy, so he wants to more body slam you and all these things. And then Jimmy, I think he's the awkward one in the mix. It probably like an actual match of just Ray versus Solo probably works a lot better than having Jimmy there as well, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed it in the past, like either even Monday Night Raw, but SmackDown too. Like the past 2 weeks, the mics have been like either super close or just like they've upgraded the mics or whatever it is because you can hear a lot of the spots that they're trying to call. Like this match specifically, I remember Solo calling out a bunch of different things.
You were hearing it.
So
Interesting.
yeah, 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 yeah,
What I need to do then is I need to listen, like watch it with these on and actually turn it up because I generally will
yeah.
keep it turned down, but I'm not because I'm like kind of agreeing. Like I feel like I know what you're saying, but I don't necessarily hear it because I don't usually have the volume turned up that loud.
Like
But
specifically going like I'm not gonna spoil what we were talking about Raw, but specifically for Raw,
yeah,
the
I see it. Yeah.
yeah, like I heard it a lot. I heard it a lot.
Okay.
But
Okay.
this one too, like I said, I heard Jimmy talking, I heard Solo talking, like two Ray calling spots. You know, that could be
And
because
you're
he's brand
saying it was
new and they're
like
just trying to be
a
more
lot.
vocal. But yeah, it was a lot. Like you could just hear a lot of it, which I don't know if that takes the mystique out of it. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. We're like
But it's just
we really shouldn't be able to hear that. No, I agree with you. We should be hearing more of just the crowd noise, the crowd ambience, and not really them calling out spots like ever. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
honestly, it only
So
if it's happened in the past if a cameraman is right up in the scene and then there's no way not to hear it. But I kind of see what you're saying that they probably have a mic on the ref or something, and now we're hearing like in the
yeah,
ring
that could be
because they
yeah,
what they probably want is to hear the slaps and the chops and the cracks a lot more, which I
yeah,
that's why I'm saying I think I know what you're saying because like I do feel like we hear those kind of things a lot more as well, the slams, the cracks, the
yeah.
slaps, whatever. So that's something to keep an eye on because I would agree with you. We really shouldn't hear calls for spots. That obviously does break
Yeah,
immersion a
and I'm
little
not saying
bit.
it's a
Like
bad thing. I was just trying to see if you because I remember specifically with this match.
this match,
I heard
interesting.
a lot of it. So I just didn't know if you heard it too, or if it was just me and I had my headphones on or whatever it
I
was.
don't know.
But nothing to really do with it. But just keep going with your overview.
Oh yeah, yeah, cool. So nothing incredibly special happened in this other than just the simple idea that JC Mateo does kind of mess with Ray Phoenix at a certain point through this match where they are setting it up to look like maybe Ray or maybe Jimmy's going to win given that they're the faces, and then it's JC that kind of like messes with Ray at a certain point, and that allows Solo to do his uh is it just
Spike,
called the yeah,
the
and
Samoan Spike.
the Simone Spike, yeah. I was gonna say it's not the Simone Chop, right? No, it's the Simone Spike, yeah. He does the Simone Spike and pins Ray 1, 2, 3. Jimmy was like out of the ring. He couldn't get back in. Just your standard thing. I think we were watching it and pretty much predicting that Solo was gonna win that match. So interesting. Again, the important thing here is just to note that Solo is now your first men's Money in the Bank qualifier. That's kind of it. I don't have much else
Yep.
to say on it other than that. Okay, you can take the next match from here.
Yeah, the next thing is the match that we hinted at earlier in the night with the Bloodline stuff with LA Knight. It is JC Mateo's debut match against LA Knight. Again, moral of the story: JC ends up beating LA
Yeah,
Knight with the help of the Bloodline.
kind of crazy.
Um, it is wild that they did that to, but I get that you want to make JC a big bad, but because LA Knight got attacked, it makes sense, obviously. But JC Mateo did what we kind of talked about. Like he does a bunch of and he was actually I didn't know he could do things like that, but he did like
Yeah.
the standing moonsault, like he did the
Oh,
standing
he's
explosion. I was
athletic.
like,
Oh
okay. I
yeah.
was like, all right, dude, get it. But he did a lot of the moves that we were talking about, like the LNS running off the ropes. JC catches him and just holds him, and then ends up like flipping him and turning him and slamming him. Or
Yeah.
he does this thing where he like swings him this way and then like again swings him back and then slams him. Like it's a bunch of those like heavy powerhouse moves, more athletic powerhouse moves. So yeah, I mean it was a good debut match for JC Mateo. He does he looks explosive. Yes, he does also look slow. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's because he wasn't trying to mess up. I don't know if he was. Um, I
Purposely
just don't know.
taking it slow or something. I don't even
Either
know.
that,
Yeah.
or if he's just because he is like 40 something years old. Like if it's
That's
just
true.
like that style of wrestling. I mean, I can already tell you right now, dude. I mean, yes, maybe in like 6, 7, 8 years ago, I could have maybe done like some of the catching and stuff. I'm 27 years old. There ain't
Yeah.
no way that is lasting at 40 years old. There's just
Oh
no
my
way.
goodness.
You're picking up 250-pound men and you're catching them and rotating. Like you're literally trying to catch them while rotating and then turning and slamming them. That's just not how your body works. So it's
Nah,
just
no.
so that's probably the reason that he was a little bit slow. But
But I still get what you're saying. It's like,
yeah,
it
it's
could be
just
better, but
it could have been better, but again, it was probably nerves. He hadn't been in the WWE before. He is 40 years old. Like this is his time to shine, right? But he just didn't want to mess things up. That's what I'm assuming.
yeah.
Again, LA Knight loses based off of like Solo and Jacob coming in. I don't know if anything happened between Solo and Jacob. Like, did something?
I don't remember anything transpiring between them two out of this match. It was just more of that
No.
JC actually beat LA Knight, and
Yeah.
then I can't. I also I don't think they ended up. No, they did. Didn't they like dogpile him afterwards as well? Or maybe I'm wrong about that.
I can't remember. I honestly can't.
Yeah, they didn't make a too big of a deal out of it in this match.
This is what happens when you have 4 concussions. You just can't remember things the next day. So.
No, it's all right. If there was something
but,
big that happened, we would have told y'all remembered it. But nothing crazy
obviously, yeah,
happened
we
after the
remembered it,
match.
but
So
yeah. So yeah, do you have any sorts of opinions? If
I'll
not,
just
you can
say,
take
I
the
could
next thing.
see, once Jacob drops this belt eventually here. I don't know when exactly that'd be, but the idea of like him and JC, I'm just gonna call him J. I'm not calling him JC Mateo, but him and
No.
JC being like a tag team actually sounds kind of insane. I don't know if that's the angle here, where they
Yes,
just
two athletic
like
freaks.
months down the line from now, maybe like let's say after SummerSlam, SmackDown just is like, oh, our new by the way, our new tag team is Jacob and JC. Like
Yeah.
that's obviously the new best tag team in WWE automatically. So,
Yeah.
um,
Or even if they go the route where Jacob ends up being the tribal chief and then Solo and
or that so something like
JC are
basically,
the
I'm more getting at JC being a tag team partner with somebody. That because I don't know what
yeah.
else
I don't think
exactly.
he'll last as a single star very long.
Yeah, that if I guess if I'm kind of piggybacking off what you said with him looking a little slow, well, guess how you can really shine when that's the kind of like profile you have. And Jimmy
Yep.
he kind of shows that as well. Like you should be in a tag team, so you don't have to do all that much
Yep.
every match. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I'll take the last thing that happened on SmackDown before we move on to Raw. If you're ready.
Go ahead.
All right. So what we had for the main event, this was actually quite the treat. It was Nia Jax for the World Heavyweight Championship versus Tiffany Stratton, your World Heavyweight Champion. So this match was actually really fun. I've always liked the clashing styles between. Oh, sorry.
One thing I will say, and kudos to the WWE because we're getting World Championship matches on regular
Yes,
TV.
they're doing it a lot now, like a lot.
We had Rhea and Io right before Elimination Chamber, or right after Elimination Chamber. We had, oh Jesus, the one that just happened.
Jay and Seth.
Jay and Seth.
Gunther made it a habit. I mean, that was his whole thing.
Like,
Was just,
yeah, seriously. It was so yeah, I appreciate WWE for doing that. Sorry to interrupt. Keep
Yes.
going.
No, that's a good interruption because you're absolutely right. I wouldn't have made a point of that, but you're correct. Yes, we applaud that. Triple H, Hunter, sir, if you ever watch this show, thank you. But no, just kidding. Fuck you. No, I'm just playing. No. So what we had here again, Tiffany versus Nia for the World Heavyweight Belt. What was I saying? The clashing style. So it's Nia's whole wrestling style is not necessarily that she's strong. Okay, she's not like picking you up and doing all these amazing things with the muscles on her arms. She's literally just using her weight to hurt you in every way,
Yeah.
dropping herself, leg drops, elbow drops.
Could you imagine if she was like actually strong?
If she was actually strong, that'd be nuts. Like if she had some muscle on her, but no, she knows what she is and she wrestles like the way she presents, which is just a huge person. Like she's a huge person. And Tiffany, on the other hand, is she's the same idea. She's slamming herself into you, but it's not using her weight. It's using her speed and athleticism to throw muscle into you. So it is actually funny how these two people are similar in a way, and they were a pairing at one point, but in different ways. Tiffany is smaller and more athletic. Nia is just massive and knows how to use that weight in an efficient way. So it's a fun time watching them. Definitely the spot I'll call out. Easily the spot of like the whole night was Nia. They did the exact same thing they did with Lyra, if anyone can recall from a few months back when Lyra fought Nia. Lyra goes for a power bomb on Nia before Nia can do the sit down thing off the turnbuckle, and Tiffany's trying it, and then you kind of like can't pull her because Nia's too big, and then she just sits on you and collapses your entire body down. Nia sells it really well because she actually moves herself, so it's more of like a leg drop and not a full sit down. Because I'm imagining that Lyra told her the full sit down really freaking hurts. It's what I imagine happened because it looked like it really hurt Lyra way back when they first did it.
Well, she's hurt. She's hurt like a lot of people doing that move.
Yes.
Like when Bayley and her had that feud, like Bayley was being so serious that she like injured her.
It hurts her ribs. Yeah. Nia's got to figure that out. The point is what she did here is she kind of slides, so she does do a leg drop. I'm hoping maybe that softens the blow a little. The point is, that's her finisher. So 1, 2, right at the end count, you just see Tiffany's arm grab for the rope, and even the way they even do the angle on the camera is really good because it's like down here in the corner that you see the rope grab, and Nia's face is up here in center frame, and she's like, "What?" She's like ready to like celebrate. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going over my favorite spot. Something I should add for y'all. I'm so sorry. Before this happens, Naomi actually just randomly comes out. Not randomly. You actually called it. That Naomi would actually probably come out.
I was like, "Where's Naomi?"
You actually called it, yeah. And then a couple minutes later, Naomi comes out with a chair. She kind of comes up to the apron. It looks like she's getting ready to hit somebody with it or whatever, and it's going to obviously cause a DQ. And that's what you had predicted, I believe. You were like, "Hey, this is going to end in DQ." Which I had co-signed, like, yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. So she comes out, we're like, oh my god, it's happening. Jade's music hits immediately, so before Naomi could get in the ring to hit anybody with the chair, Jade's music hits, and she's doing what she's been doing like for the last month now. She sprints in to go after Naomi, and Naomi's like scared. So instead of any interference at all, Naomi drops that chair. Important, drops the chair near the front of the ring, and they both sprint out of the stadium through one of the tunnels or whatever. Okay, so back to my spot I was talking about. Okay, Nia got that close call. Tiffany grabbed the rope. So Nia, she literally verbatim says, like, I don't believe in this. Like, I won that. I got that 3 count. That was three. That was 3. So she goes, I'm the champ. I'm the champ. And Cole is literally like, she just said that she's the champ and she won the match. And it's like, okay. Or Tessitore, I believe. Sorry. Yeah. Tessitore said that. And so Nia grabs the belt off the thing, starts walking out, and everyone's like, boo, boo. The ref's like following her, and he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So Nia's like, okay. Gives the ref the belt, and she's like, go put it back. Like, go put it back if I can't have it. So ref grabs it, turns back, goes back towards the end of the ring. So Nia takes the chair, and you're like, wow, that's actually a fun little thing they just did there. Naomi brought that chair in. Nia uses the belt as a distraction to then grab the chair to go back into the ring and hit Tiffany with it. But this entire time was way more than enough time for Tiffany to obviously recover from the finisher she took. Tiffany sprints over, really great, just execution. It looked really good. Like, it looked impactful. She drop kicks the
Yep.
chair into Nia. Nia sets up to get Prettiest moon salted, I guess.
Yeah.
To get moon
Prettiest moonsault
salted.
ever.
Yeah. To get hit by Tiffany's finisher, and Tiffany hits it 1, 2, 3. Like, it was a clean pin to win and it was off of Nia trying to do this like underhanded. Oh wait, did I get that wrong?
You're missing one thing. You're missing one thing. A little bit earlier in the match, because Tiffy does end up hitting a prettiest moonsault ever before.
Yeah. I
And
guess Joe
Tessitore makes it a factor of saying that.
That's right.
She hits it and then goes 1-2, and then Nia breaks out at
had a close
2.9.
count. Yeah.
And
Joe
Tessitore's like,
yeah.
he's like, nobody's ever broken out of it. He said in the entire WWE that he says NXT,
I don't know,
like anything. He says anything. So
if anybody knows that,
I'll believe him until now.
He said no one ever broke out of that finisher. I really there's just no way. They never wrote that. And then they randomly have Nia break it on that match. I don't know what's the point of that. But if that's true, then that's true, I suppose, and good for Nia. But yeah, you're right, because what that builds to is that the idea here is that Tiffany does get her to tap to that later. She just wins the match clean. The crowd did have a pretty good pop here at the end. I do think people really respected this match. I also personally like this match a lot, and I think it was a solid cherry on top of what was not necessarily the greatest regular show of SmackDown, if that makes sense. So nice little way to end off the show. What are your thoughts on that? And if you want, you can kind of like lead it into your star rating for SmackDown. And
thoughts on the match? Obviously, the best match of the night. It was definitely their best match as just a two, as a duo. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad. Hopefully, that's the end of it. Hopefully, that the one that's checks it off, right?
Don't think so. Sorry.
So hopefully,
I think this rivalry stays for forever type of like I do think this will be for these
it's probably
two.
One of those longer term rivalries. Yeah, that's just they're always gonna hate each other because of this, right? They're never gonna reconvene. But yeah, so nothing more. It was a good match. You hit the spots. You were talking about the spots with Jade, Naomi coming in. We did call, or at least I was like, "Where's Naomi? Where's Naomi? She's gonna come out." But yeah, it was just like you said, the using the belt as a distraction to be able to take a chair shot, but then obviously it backfires and yada yada.
Yeah.
So, but that was definitely a cool little just homage. You know what I mean? I think it's just good stuff. Good stuff. Truthfully, Nia Jax is just, people want to hate her.
Nah.
She does a really good job, really, honestly.
We're out of that era. We're in a new era.
She's in the main event for a reason.
Yeah.
She's a believable, a really good believable heel. She's just that. She is the monster. She is the Andre the Giant of the women's division right now. Not super dominant, but
I think yes, he was. What people really don't give her credit for is her actual just genuine attitude as a heel. Just all of that is so hateable. It's so just horrible. You really just do not like her.
It's different than Charlotte Flair.
It's different than Charlotte Flair. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's hard to like her, but it's a character she's playing. So you're like, okay, well, the things things in the past that people truly hate her for are related to messing up moves and being a little arrogant about that kind of thing. It has nothing to do with your actual work necessarily, which she has improved on those things. She's clearly improved on hurting and injuring people. It seems, at least from an outsider's perspective. I don't know, but hey, I had her. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I put her on my little when we did our Mount Rushmore. I put her on my women's Mount Rushmore. So
I think you did. Yeah, either that or
as
an honorable mention. One of the two.
You got to respect Nia Jax right now. So. Cool. What would be your star rating then for the SmackDown?
I'd give this one. I'll give this one a 3, just because of the last match. The last match was good. If not for the last match, 2 or 2.5, easily.
Yeah.
Nothing too. I don't know. Usually, when you debut somebody, they have an important segment the next show.
Something. Yeah.
JC, I don't know. He's the most. I don't know if it was because, he didn't show really any emotion when he debuted on Backlash, or if it was, he just doesn't he hasn't said a word yet. I don't think. I don't think he said a single
No,
word.
not at all.
He doesn't like look menacing, in my opinion. Like Jacob Fatu he looked a lot more menacing when he debuted, and he was like he had like the crazy Samoan like shaking. It's like what he does, right? What his character
I'll
is.
also say this: there's something really weird about the fact that the rest of the bloodline has some type of style to them, and JC debuted in the created character, all black jeans, all black shirt, all
Yeah.
black shoes, and he still wore that to SmackDown. Like there was no real personality to him at all,
No.
like
Dude, all he does, this is
presentation
literally
wise.
him. This is literally him. He just does this.
Just
It just
stands there,
doesn't
literally
just
just
like
stands
literally
there,
with this like it's
smiles.
crazy. It's
So
I
they
don't
need
know.
they need to work on him a little bit before they get crazy with
I'm not
whatever.
yeah.
But he obviously is just filling that role
And I also
as
don't
like
know
I
if
don't
it's
know.
because I don't know if it's because it's like it's the bloodline. There's a million of them. 6 months down the road, there's going to be another one. Like I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason. That his just doesn't feel. I don't know. For me, it just doesn't feel like
No, I get it. I totally get
a
it.
new thing. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2.5 or a
You said
three
yeah.
because of the main event. So yeah, what's your
I'm
thoughts?
for the exact same reasoning, and then I was also going to give it 2.5, but for main event, because it was actually pretty fun, I will also give it a 3. Just wasn't really feeling the general product of this show. It wasn't like absolutely horrible. We got some Money in the Bank things. I mean, you know what? No, I'm gonna actually just say 2.5. I think the main
Yeah,
event actually saves it from more of like a 2. I don't
yeah.
know. We talked about this a little bit before, and this is why I asked you when I asked you last episode. But like putting LA Knight directly back against the Bloodline for the U.S. belt, dude. Like, oh
I
my
don't know, man.
god, like,
I don't know.
dude, it's so boring at this point. Like, there's no way. There's no way they can't come up with something else for LA Knight. There's no way they can't come up with someone else in the mid card on SmackDown that's capable of fighting the Bloodline. I don't know. It's like something. It's just weird.
I don't know.
Um, but I didn't absolutely hate it. I mean, I watched it. I sat through and watched it. I wasn't mad that I watched it. So 2.5.
Literally, like
Could
the
be
best
better.
parts of the show was the beginning with the bloodline,
Yeah, and
like
then
with Solo and Jacob, like those two,
yeah, their
and
promo
then
was fun. Yeah,
the last match
and then the
was
last
that's
match.
my.
So you could have pieced out, taken a nap for the middle parts. You would have just see who the results of the Money in the Bank qualifiers are. You'd be good.
I
But
just don't know what it is with WWE right now. They're just not. They're
something
just
weird is
not.
happening in creative. I think that's the I don't know what exactly, but something weird does feel like it's happening right now.
I feel like they're
I don't know.
waiting to do Money in the Bank because, like, once Money in the Bank
Yeah,
happens, then you can create different storylines,
like
like how
truly
you do with
start to branch
Tiffy.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, and then it's gonna get more exciting because then you're gonna get people doing false cash-ins and here and that and all that stuff, right? Or just we're in the beginning of the year, just trying to figure it out. What the whole storylines are going to be for next WrestleMania. Who knows?
yeah.
We'll see. But okay, so you have a 2.5. I have a 3. That kind of sums up everything that we thought on Friday Night SmackDown. If you want, we can move right into Monday Night Raw.
Yes, sir. I will start it, I suppose. We start off with a Logan Paul promo. He comes out, and this is basically him hyping up him versus Jay. That is the big main event for Saturday Night Main Event for the World Heavyweight Championship belt. This is basically just him kind of like giving the lowdown of like the whole theme of this promo was him being like, facts. Like Logan Paul has never lost to Jey Uso in a match. Like facts. I've pinned Jey Uso 3 times. Like facts. I won a singles title. Like what did he say? 13 years faster than Jey Uso. Facts. So he's just
Yeah.
doing all that kind of thing. And then out of nowhere, like this is very unexpected, but out of nowhere, Gunter's music hits, and it's so unexpected that even Logan has this look.
It was very,
It was
very
like what?
unexpected.
And Logan's like maybe it's a little bit of like just a teeny bit of overselling, but he does like really try his best to do like actual character work. So you can see his facial expressions like actively in the scene what's happening. He's like giving all these weird little like what he's telling a story just with his face. So like what the look on his face when Gunter comes in is hilarious. It looks like what? Like why is this guy here? And then he literally starts pointing like whose man's is this? That kind of thing. So Gunter basically comes out. And long story short is him. He starts it. This is Gunter's thing, right? He builds you up to tear you down. That's his promo style, which I love. It's a great way to be a villain.
It is.
Especially for
Yep.
him not being a native English speaker and trying his best to kind of get through these. He gets through them not very quickly, but people still hear and listen to every word.
He's like, Logan, you are a superstar.
Yeah.
You're this, you're that.
He's like, you're
but
awesome, dude.
You are just dirt compared to me.
Well, no, because he's like, well, you're awesome, dude. You're a big social media star. You're a business mogul. You're not even that old. You're awesome, right? And Logan's like, guys, Gunther is. He says it. He's like, Gunther is about to be a part of Logang, and he's like, yeah. At the end of the day, this is all business for you, right, Logan? And Logan's like, I guess, yeah. And he's like, yeah, that's the thing. None of this is business to me. This is all personal. And it's kind of like, okay. And then he's like, the thing is, Logan, if you beat Jay, I will. And I'm giving a better reading of this than Gunther. This is, he kind of broke in English his way through this, but we get the point, right? He goes like, Logan, if you beat Jay and take that belt, I take that as a personal attack on me and my way of life. In which case, I see no reason for me not to get in this ring, square up with you, look you in the eyes, and eat you alive. And he kind of gets into his big, mean German voice, and then he literally like slams the mic down and walks out. Logan kind of like, he's like, what's up? Gunther like, okay, whatever. And then you hear the crowd like popping, like, what's going on? And then boom, Jay comes in out of nowhere from behind and super kicks Logan. That's the end of that promo. Oh no, sorry. Jay grabs the mic and goes, and Gunther, if you want it after this match, Saturday Night Main Event, you know what it is. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeah. And then hit his music. That is how we started off Monday Night Raw. Tyler, what do you think about the little Logan Paul, Gunther, and a little bit of a appearance from Jey Uso?
Still kind of goes off of my theory from last week, or I guess statement from last week, and just saying like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is there 4 people? Why is there 4 people involved in the World Heavyweight Championship picture right now?
Yeah.
Why are they not? And I know why. It's because Logan Paul is not there on a day-to-day basis. This is the first time we've heard from Logan Paul, I think, since he announced his he wanted to face Jey Uso, the day after WrestleMania or Backlash, whatever the hell it was. Was it? No, it was WrestleMania.
It was 2 weeks ago. It was weeks ago at this point that we had the Logan and Jay thing. Remember, they had a whole Raw a couple weeks ago dedicated to Logan and Jay, and then out of nowhere they just inserted Seth and all the Seth and Paul's. And
yeah.
They that's kind of the whole thing. It's that they have.
Well, yeah. So my point is that Logan's not there.
Yeah.
And they need something for Jay to do because he is your World Heavyweight Champion. So you're just throwing, Gunther back at him because. For why? Now this will be Gunther versus Jay times what, 4 or 5 now?
Yeah.
Because he did it for the
4,
IC title. He's done it for the okay, cool. And then you have Seth Rollins that just wants the title because he's in this new visionary state. So it's just I get people wanting to come after the title. But I don't want to put it as in terms of wait your turn until this one is done. But I don't know.
I mean, I guess that's what they're trying to do is tell this story of like, if Jay wants to keep this belt, he has to go through all these people. Like that's what they're trying to paint the picture of.
It makes sense. I guess that makes sense if you put it in that way. And I might not be seeing it that way. I just might be seeing it as
everything right now should be seen through the lens of like, what does a little kid Jey Uso fan see this as? Which if I look at it that way, it's like, oh my God, Seth and Braun and Paul they're together and they're coming after him. And Logan Paul, he clearly deserves a shot. What's gonna happen there? And Gunther, oh my God! And then I'm telling you, this is just a random throw out. But then what I feel like they're building slowly towards is this idea that like Sammy's gonna turn on them too, or something like that. Maybe it's CM Punk who also comes after Jay. I think there is one more domino to fall as far as someone coming after Jay. I don't know who yet though, but
it's going to be someone unexpected.
Someone unexpected. Yeah, exactly. But that's not even what I'm trying to make my point here about. But
no, I can see what you're going with. It makes sense,
But I agree with you.
I guess
that's what I'm saying they're doing. It doesn't mean it makes sense. Let me be clear on that. I also prefer a bit more of a straightforward approach. That's what I would say, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's more of just like, yes, it is. Again, I think you've mentioned it. Actually, no, I know you've mentioned it. This is for kids. This is for kids. This is not. This is not for us. This is just not for us. We're the one who pay. We're the one who pay for our kids to get stuff.
That's true.
If that's the case. but this is for kids. So yes, how you explained it, it's like, oh my god, how is Jay gonna
How's he going to beat
save this,
everybody?
do
They're
that,
all
all
coming
that?
after my guy, and he's amazing. It's
But
Jay. Yeah.
we know we're sitting here. It's the same thing like we talked about last week.
Oh
It's the
yeah.
same thing with The Rock and Cody. You know, Logan Paul is just that he has no chance in hell of winning a world title because we've seen what people even with John Cena right now, who's not here every single week, we see that struggling. Like in my opinion, his whole storyline ever since he's won has struggled. It just has. Yes,
What?
it's
What?
because it's just had
Nah.
Randy Orton so far. Obviously, we've only had a month. We've only had a month. It's literally only been a month to the day. To the day today. Today is 5/20, May 20. 4/20 was
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
Was
It's been a
WrestleMania.
exact month. So yes, we are being super
Ah.
critical. We are being super extremely critical right now. But it's just like I want to watch something good on television, at least something good, if not great, every single week. I just want to be able to watch
You
it.
know,
I'm spending 3 hours of my night wanting to watch good television, good storylines, good stuff, and I just don't feel like I'm getting it right now, and it's frustrating.
I
Um,
I'll say this. I think there's a Houdini act going on right now where they're trying to not let us realize that both Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns are not a part of WWE. We're at this very moment. They are not doing anything. And those are the
they're
two
trying to. You're
biggest
so right, though.
pit
You're
people.
so right. They're trying to find their new
They're
John
pretending
Cena.
like it's not the case that both of them are both on a break right now. Like
You're
that's
actually so right. You're so right
those are the
about that. I
two
didn't even
biggest
think
stars
about
in wrestling right now. Period.
I didn't
There's
even think
no.
about that
I
because
don't. John Cena is not on the
Monday
list.
Night Raw, every Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, Cody Rhodes was there, and we
Or
had that.
Roman
We
is
were
what I'm saying.
spoiled.
It's one of the
Yeah, yeah.
two have been running WWE for the last since me and you started watching, but obviously even before that. And now all of a sudden they're both gone. This is the first time this has ever been this way. It's since for years. Think about it, y'all. Like I don't. No one's really even
No,
caught
that's
up.
so true.
Cody's
You're
out
so
now
right.
because he's on his break. We all understand that they're on a break. They're not out, but it is like it starts to set in once you're starting to watch it week to week, and you're like, wait a second, like there's nothing really big happening at all right now. Like even John's stuff, the only people that guess what a feud for John Cena like magnified big enough makes sense was Cody Rhodes or Roman, but Roman that doesn't really make sense to maybe Roman fights
Or
John.
Randy or CM Punk,
Or
and they're not doing that
Randy,
right now.
but they already did Randy. So CM Punk's the only other one. But they already have inserted CM Punk into the Seth Rollins thing, so that's out of the question. So what do you really
See,
have
this
with?
is why Seth is truly the goat. Right
Oh
now,
yeah,
this Seth
Seth
is
is
carrying
carrying.
this company
Seth is
on his shoulders.
carrying. Like he
Seth
has.
is goaded.
Well,
Dude.
and
Seth
that's
is
why it
goated.
pains me when we come up here in a minute when we. Actually, you know what? Let's segue that into because we should probably get on with the Raw
Yeah, we've
stuff.
been talking about the first thing. So yeah, let's
Oh no,
let's
that's
move
totally
into the
fine.
next part.
You take the next if you don't mind. Take the next three things on there, and you'll see why. Because the next two are
Okay, so
short.
first thing is we get so just like we did on SmackDown. I guess we didn't mention it. We probably should have. SmackDown. Julia also signed to the SmackDown roster
Yeah.
in that first Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss thing that we had talked about. Julia was also coming out of the office with Nick Aldis, and Julia is now a part of the SmackDown roster again. Never mind. I'm not gonna get into it.
No, you're good. You're good.
Roxanne Perez then now is signed to the Raw roster, so they have now officially split. They are no longer a team or a tag team, whatever. They are on two different brands. They made it quite clear that Julia's on
more-
SmackDown, Roxanne's on Raw.
No more. What were we saying? No more Women's Shield.
No more
Unfortunately.
Nexus or
No
Shield.
more
Yeah.
Nexus. Just singles. But that's fine. What do we got next? What do we got next?
So next, Jay Uso runs into Paul Heyman in the back, and then Heyman tells Jay he will be fighting Braun tonight, but not for the title. Tells him Braun isn't looking for the title; he just wants to slow Jay down so that Seth Rollins can basically have an easier way at the title.
He's like telling him to his face, which I don't know if I. Again, this is kind of the angle I'm talking about with like setting up for kids. Because why in the world would Paul even tell him that? Like what? But if you're seeing it like, well, now he looks menacing and it's scary. It's like okay, yeah, I guess that in a childish like weird way, yeah, why not? Like
Yeah.
that is what a supervillain would do. They would tell you they're
Like in a normal feud, if someone is fighting for a title, you do these things like let's say it's Seth Rollins that's fighting for the title right now, right? you would do these things with Jey Uso and CM Punk in a tag match versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. You would do these like one-off matches until you reach the climax of Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso, right? We don't have that. We don't have Jay in matches right now. He's like, yes, let me rephrase that. We have him in matches, but we don't have him in matches with the people he's feuding with.
I know what you mean.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll talk about that later. So then we get into the first match of the night, which, mind you, was an absolute banger.
I want to
know, it was really good.
Real quick, just keep in mind how long it takes for this match to get started. As I was rewatching Raw, I was like thinking about this. I was like, they took like 30 minutes to get to the first match. It was just promos.
No, they're definitely doing like cutbacks.
Yeah,
they're definitely doing like cutbacks right now.
But that I just wanted to say that real quick. Continue.
Because again, just going back to Backlash, it was 2 hours and 45 minutes. Anyway, Penta and AJ Styles versus JD and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. Okay, and we end up getting Finn Balor and JD winning, surprisingly, because of interference with El Grande Americano again. Go back to episode we're on episode 9 right now.
Yeah.
Go back to episode 8. Towards the end, I mentioned that Raw feels like the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It is getting absolutely ridiculous. Just have a match. Just have a match with Penta and El Grande Americano. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Why do we have to have 7 weeks?
It's the same interference every week too. He just, oh my god, he's here and he's doing the headbutt thing. Oh my god, like, dude, come on, dude. It's like
you're just gonna kill the El Grande thing. You're gonna kill it. You're gonna kill it.
No, it is getting ridiculous. Like, come on, man.
So I don't know.
Tell a deeper story, but keep going. What else?
So that was it. But yes, the match was high flying. The match was AJ Styles looks great.
Yes,
he really does, dude. Like he's putting on a show in his last year or two. He's super over with the crowd. He is just. I feel like people are just sitting there just appreciating him more and more and more because
it does feel that way.
His time is coming to an end, and we all know it. It's probably going to be done because they've hinted at it before. You know, they hinted at it last year with when him and Cody.
I was going to say they wanted to get that sympathy of the retirement thing like a year ago. I think it's funny. Yeah. It's actually happening like right now. That like you just said, that energy is finally coming around, and it does feel like. Every move AJ does, there's this huge pop. He comes in, people pop, like they see him on screen. He gets the same amount of cheers that like a Rhea or somebody gets when they see her on screen. Yeah. Like I think, but just by the way, I think those are the best ways to judge like wrestlers where they are. Those pops when you just see them on the screen. If that makes sense. So, anyways, but keep going with your kind of description of the match.
No, yeah, it's just again, AJ's doing really well. He doesn't look like he should retire in the next year.
I don't agree. I agree. I agree is what I mean. Yeah, sorry.
He's like, it's crazy. But no, the match was good. There was a couple botches here and there. Nothing too much. But
it was. It really was just because there was so much high flying. Like all 4 people in this match could do acrobatic moves. They went for it a lot. So in the sense that it's worth to go watch because of how much they did that kind of stuff, which is fun to see. You also are going to see a few kind of like every 3 or 4 spots they did, every 3rd or 4th one is what I mean. You would have something that kind of got messed up, but it happens, you know.
And this was a long match too. Like
it was really long.
I think it had like 3 commercial breaks. Honestly, like it was super long.
I remember us going. We were watching this live, and then at a certain point later in the match, we go, "Man, this match is still on!" Like we were like, "Wait, this is still the same match. This is crazy." Yeah, no, this was a long one. It was a good one. Like you said, I think they're just giving AJ as much time as possible. Just do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
like he's giving us quality matches. This is exactly what you want out of a vet.
You're so right. So yeah, I don't know if this sets AJ back from the IC title or if it pushes him forward for the IC title. I have no idea. But we'll see. What are your thoughts on this match?
It's interesting. Judgment Day winning.
Winning based off of what again?
Winning.
Based off of what? Based off of what?
Well, I know based off the cheating again. it's
It's
just
ridiculous, dude.
it
Absolutely
is
ridiculous.
ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I guess because what I'm getting at. No, I guess it does make sense at the end of the day because Penta has a reason for why he lost. It is the direct interference of El Grande. And as we're getting at with AJ, winning and losing doesn't really matter at this point because that's not really the goal here. Like he's not going to be wrestling much longer, so he could lose every match. It doesn't really mean anything.
Like I don't care about the wins or losses, but it's just like, why does it got to be the same thing with El Grande
Oh no, I
Americano
agree with
again?
that.
Why?
That's not even a question. Like they need to
Yeah.
stop that, or it needs to be like I don't know, dude. Penta needs to make friends or something. Like
Yeah.
it just I guess AJ is supposed to be his buddy, but this dude Penta has too many people already coming after him in WWE for him to just be a guy that goes, you know. In your face all day, like, nah, buddy. You got people literally coming after
Dude,
you right now.
he even does like little fist bumps with it. He just
He
goes
just
like that. It's like
that's the best part. Like he does this little thing, and then he goes up to a kid. And he's like, "What's up? What's up?" Nah, I would love to
dude,
do
the
that.
people in the back must be pissed at his entrance because it takes so long. They're just like, dude, come on.
He
like,
literally is
dude.
just kind of like he's quite literally slow walking his entrance. That's funny. But nah, I don't really have much else to say on that one.
No,
Fun little way to start Raw. We will go on to the
You
next
can take
thing.
the next.
I'll
You
take
can
like
take
the
the
next
next
two
3 things.
or next three, yeah. So we go into an EO interview in the back. Hold on. Yeah, so the way this Raw was set up was a little weird. What they would do is like start a match, and then before the match actually starts, like you have a promo into a match, and then before everyone is introduced to that match, they would splice like 2 other promos and then introduce everyone else into the match. It was weird. So I'll try to cover this in the order it happened. Io's doing an interview as just the champ. And pretty much like before she can say much at all, Becky kind of comes up to be like, "Hey, I'm gonna take that from you, just letting you know." And Io's like, basically just like screw you. Like I don't even have to say anything. That's basically.
What if she just started?
What if
because
she
can't
actually
talk
did that? That would
English,
be hilarious.
she
That would be
starts
hilarious.
emoting in front of people.
That would be hilarious. But that's essentially the vibe of this promo. Is that, yeah, Io didn't really say much. It was just Becky being like, "I'm gonna take the belt from you," and then Io's like, "Whatever," and then
Oh man.
and then Becky goes out to the ring because she is about to be in the Money in the Bank qualifying match against Zoe. And sorry, Becky versus Roxanne and Natalia for women's Money in the Bank qualifying match.
Yes.
So it's Becky comes out into the ring, and this is what I mean. And then after Becky's entrance, they do a promo on the big board again, and it's Seth running into Logan Paul backstage. Now this was of course interesting because we've discussed on it at length on this show, but like who could be that new member of Seth's squad? This promo seemed to be pretty directly Seth threatening Logan. He was being his buddy. Yes, he was being his friend. He wasn't being like threatening on its face. He was more being like, yeah, and I, everything we're doing is going to help you get that belt, and I think you should repay me by letting me face you for the belt, and I'll beat you for it. And like that's kind of what he was saying to him, and Logan's like, okay, yeah, I'll think about it. Like that was all this promo really was. But just really, I'll just say it now, I guess. All they're doing with these little promos that they kept doing throughout the show, it's kind of what you were touching on actually earlier, but they were just showing us that all of these 4 things, so Jay, Logan, Gunter, and Seth, this is not just things happen. They are trying to connect them with these promos. My problem is, on this Monday Night Raw, and I put this in the notes, this promo from Seth was horrible. Like, Seth, it sounded like he forgot every single line. He took a huge pause between everything he said. Like, if y'all get a chance, I'd go back and watch it on Netflix. Like, it was one of the worst promos I think I've maybe ever seen, period. Just from anybody. He seemed like someone who had never cut a promo before. It was really weird. I don't know what was going on with Seth in this night on this Monday Night Raw, because I guess I'll just go ahead and say, I won't say exactly what it is. He does cut a promo also later with someone else, and I think the same exact thing. Like, he also sucked in that one. It was really weird. It was really unnerving. It was like, Seth is usually really, really quick, really sharp. He probably improvises words as well. This promo felt like he forgot what he was saying. And it was not a promo where him and Logan were really going back and forth. So it was on Seth to talk a lot and say all these things. and it was so slow and so poorly paid. I don't know. It was odd and awkward from Seth. If you watch this, Seth, do better. That's all I gotta say about that.
Do better, Seth. We just said
And
you're carrying the company, but just do better.
I guess do you have a note on that promo real quick? Because then I'll go into the actual Money in the Bank match.
Not on the promo specific. It's no, not on the promo.
Okay, so like I said,
anything that Logan Paul does, I don't believe is going to be his story.
transpire long term. That's totally
Yeah.
fair. I'm not necessarily in that boat right now, but I totally see where you're coming from. That like it's hard to subscribe to any long term storytelling with Logan.
Well, we got his United States Championship, and that was just to boost the title because
Like what it is.
Rey Mysterio had it. Like Austin Theory, Rey Mysterio had it. That was
It was bad.
There was no, so that was just to boost the title. He defended it once, never came and showed face on SmackDown at all ever. So I just don't. I don't take him every time he says, because he said it before. Oh, I'm signed with the WWE for months in advance. Like, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm taking it serious. I get that you take it serious, and I get that you like take your matches seriously. But when it comes to a day-to-day, week-to-week, even month-to-month basis coming in every pay-per-view, I just don't. I don't believe it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't really have much to say, so I'll get into the actual Money in the Bank match itself now. Like I said, so they splice these things in weirdly together, but they do lead into Becky Lynch, Roxanne Perez, Natalya for a contenders match for Women's Money in the Bank. This match was actually really fun. It was a pretty solid triple threat match. I really do think Roxanne is probably already one of the most entertaining women's wrestlers on the roster. Her effort, her moveset, her athleticism, her kind of like I don't know if I'd say it's necessarily selling, but just like the emotion she puts into the ring, right? So like her just the little extra mannerisms, the little extra movements and kind of acting she puts in to be like a convincing heel. She really hit her stride about a year ago on NXT, and she just has not lost it. If y'all have been paying attention to her, she really, really hit her stride about a year ago with her mic work and her character work, and has just only gotten better from that point on. So this match was really carried by her, and it felt like a match of like two vets who have trained with her in the past, who were now getting a chance to wrestle with her on TV, and that's what this was. Two vets who know how to do moves very well. They're a little slower, a little older. That's okay. But Roxanne was doing most of the actual, I don't want to say heavy lifting, but the actual athleticism of these moves, the flips, the weirder holds. They did a lot of those spots where they're like rolling around and trying to do pins, trying to do different counters to submissions. Roxanne is doing different like rope running moves. Cool spot where Natalya hits her sharpshooter on both Becky and Roxanne at some point in the match. I know Natalya's done that a lot in triple threats, but who cares? It's fun to see. And then this match ends up ending with let me see how it ended up basically being that kind of looked like Natalya had control on things, and then they sort of get into like a little bit of a mess where everyone's kind of like not really sure who's gonna hit who with what move and then out of nowhere it's it was like actually not that long after the double sharpshooter. Natalya is essentially trying to win the match just off of sharpshooting Roxanne, because it's like she's much bigger than her, and Roxanne's really selling it like as if this is like close to getting her to submit. So Becky gets Natalya off of her and manhandles slams Natalya. Roxanne's kind of recovering from the sharpshooter, so she can't do anything, and Becky has her opportunity to 1-2-3 pin Natalya, but then Lyra Valkyria comes in, pulls back, just straight up yanks Becky out of the ring and just starts wailing on her. No DQ because it's triple threat, so there can't be a disqualification from just that. So the rest of Becky in this match is just taken up by her and Lyra, continuing their little brawl or whatever. And then Roxanne gets up. Natalya's a little bit confused as to what's going on, and Roxanne hits her pop rocks on Natalya. 1-2-3. Roxanne is in your Women's Money in the Bank. Pretty fun match. Love that Roxanne won this. When we were watching this, I was like, oh, Roxanne's definitely winning this, and I think we had a little bit of like, oh, Becky might, but I was like, nah.
I was like, Becky for sure wins this, right?
No, yeah, and I was like, nah, I think Roxanne got it, and they did give it to her. I really do think Roxanne is just like, I might like her more than Rhea right now. I'm not someone that's been like a huge fangirl. Oh my God, Rhea Ripley, like, oh my God, dude, like, I like Rhea, don't get me wrong, but I've never been like, no matter what, Rhea's the best. It's like, no, right now I genuinely think Roxanne is the most entertaining woman on Raw. And she might even be, if it wasn't for people like Tiffany on SmackDown, or
I can agree with you.
I like Nia a little more as well on SmackDown, I think. But as far as people that seem to give a shit and like try put work into their character, I actually care about like how they wrestle, what they do. Roxanne just checks every box. It's hard. It's really hard for her to miss right now.
They're giving Roxanne every week.
They give her a lot, yeah.
Every week.
They give her a lot of high end people.
Like
I don't remember the last like mid carder she wrestled against, to be honest with you. Like not really counting Natalia in this match, but everything she's been doing has been against top tier people.
Yeah,
Everything.
really.
She's on that like Mello run that they did for Mello when he first got on the roster last year.
Dude, poor Mello. Anyway,
I wouldn't say poor Mello. Not yet. Not yet. They gave him. They gave him Andre the Giant. They gave him Andre the Giant.
Yeah, dude.
That's something.
Hey.
That is something.
All hail Dre. Okay, so yeah, nothing. Yeah, Roxanne was amazing. To say the less. I thought the match was pretty good. You know, Natalia actually was a lot better than what I thought she was going to be. She's not like
she doesn't get on TV a lot.
We don't get her. She's just literally there for these type of matches. You know, she's always going to be in a battle royal. She's always going to be in a like a tournament type of thing. She's always going to be like something like that, right? So, but no, yeah, Roxanne, Becky. Again, I was like, Becky for sure wins this, right? Lo and behold, Lyra comes back super soon. I don't think she actually had a broken nose because she didn't have anything covered.
No, I don't, yeah.
So
probably a little sprain or something, but yeah.
Roxanne wins, and Roxanne immediately becomes, if not the favorite, a top 2, top 3 contender to win the Money in the Bank.
Well, we can get.
But so yeah, match was good. Nothing else really to say. Now we have Roxanne and Alexa Bliss qualified for this match. To move on to the next thing, Sami Zayn promo in the back basically tells Jay that he has his back on Saturday. You know, I still think there's a lot of uncertainty with Sami Zayn right now.
Yeah, there's something weird going on, obviously.
I don't know if WWE is trying to play it up. I don't know if because normally when they do a turn like this, it's like somewhat expected, if that makes sense. There's a reason behind it.
The hidden angle could be what they're doing, and I'm only connecting these dots because of the promo we got a couple weeks ago or whenever it was. Maybe it was last week, and I'm just that dumb. But no, it was a couple weeks ago. They could be building this Sammy turn, and then the out of nowhere thing is that Jimmy turns.
It could,
and Jimmy's the one that comes out of absolutely nowhere, and they run a brother v brother feud after Jay loses the belt, because that's how he would lose the belt, would be Jimmy.
That's the other part too. It's like they're probably building this up, but how long is it going to take? Because I don't think Jay Uso loses this title before SummerSlam. I think he at least holds it till SummerSlam. In my opinion, I don't know.
We'll see.
I think
they might want to have that belt on that Seth faction by the time SummerSlam comes around, but that's
maybe,
just me.
Yeah,
that's just
maybe.
Me. I don't know, but yeah. Okay, yeah. Take the next thing. I don't really have much else.
Yeah, the next thing is a weird little promo with Michael Cole showing a flashback of John Cena ripping all his clothes off, and he's in his underwear. Don't know what the point was.
That was
I don't
weird.
remember any.
I just put that on there because I was like, why is WWE putting this on? Why are we watching this replay? This has to be something that you would imagine from the Vince McMahon era you wouldn't want people to remember. And they put it right on TV as like a memorable thing. It's like, ain't no way Michael Cole was like, yeah, y'all, like let's remember this. Like this is weird. What? This is really weird. But
don't know what the other thing is. Next thing, Adam Pearce ends up giving Akira Tozawa a match against Rusev. Then Chad Gable comes in and basically says he wants a qualifier match with him and Ivy Nile for the Money in the Bank. So probably going to get Chad Gable in a match next week. Probably also going to get Ivy Nile in a qualifying match next week. So yeah, there's all of that. And then finally getting into the next match after 3 promos. Jesus.
This is a weird night.
Yeah, then we finally get into the match that was announced last week. Sheamus versus Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller comes in. He's looking all nervous and, sketched out. Austin Theory's like, go ahead, go face your medicine. Like, literally, like, this is what you asked for. You put me through this. So, good for Austin Theory. The biggest thing to come out of this entire match, the crowd was chanting loudly,
Yeah.
mind you, loudly, Austin Theory.
Yep.
Like they
Yep.
were chanting his name like a lot. So we're gonna get the breakup soon between these two, and it's
They
gonna
did
be
it.
glorious.
They achieved what they've been going for this entire time. They
Yep.
finally broke the seal on the WWE universe. People are tired of seeing Grayson mistreat Austin, and they finally see Austin as the one that's victimized. And it took
Yep.
what we were talking about this last. It took like 2 years or a year and a half or however long it's been.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
two WrestleManias ago that they won the belts. Remember?
Yep.
Like it
Yep.
was two
Yep.
Wrestle. It was not this one. It was the last one. So it's like,
Yep.
bro, come on. This has been a long time coming. Honestly, we weren't like. I was not looking at the screen when that exact moment happened, and I remember perking my head up, going, "Whoa!" Like they're
Yeah.
cheering
You're like,
for Austin.
whoa,
Whoa!
whoa.
And you look at Austin Theory's face, and he's like, "Okay,
Yeah, dude.
okay,
Yeah,
like yeah, hell yeah!" And you could I bet you he felt like $1,000,000, and I think I said that to you
dude, that's
when we were
awesome.
watching it.
And I'm so
You
happy
just
for
know,
him because
yeah.
it's like he's got all the potential in the
Oh
world.
yeah.
Dude, he's like 20. He's like 25.
He's like 26
like, he's
now.
so
Yeah,
young.
he's
Something
right
like that.
around.
It's
He's
just
only like a year younger than you. Yeah, so it's like,
yeah. He's got all the potential in the world, man. He looks the part, you know. I think his promos have gotten a lot better than what they used to be. We just need to find a character for him. We need to find a character for him.
He's
And if
matured
this
a
is a
little bit.
character like an underdog babyface type of character, I like it. I like it. You know, he was this arrogant because he was Vince's baby, basically. He was like protected by Vince, and Vince gave him everything. Like he was supposed to be the next Drew McIntyre, like the protege, right?
yeah,
So he obviously got that stickler, and then John Cena ended up, unfortunately, shoving that down his throat. I hate it, but whatever. But yeah, so if he can play like a underdog babyface type of guy to where he's like gonna succeed, I'm happy with it. Again, super excited that the crowd was actually chanting his name and wanting this turn and wanting this change for him. So good. So hopefully we'll see some more of it here in the next future in the future. But yeah, Sheamus does end up winning the match. A lot of kind of the same thing that was happening last week, where a lot of cuts to Austin Theory and Grayson Waller talking. At one point, Grayson Waller was like, I don't need your help. Like, I'm doing this on my own. After Austin Theory literally had just helped him, and it was like, yeah. So, but yeah, a lot of cut.
they're
back
playing it
and
up
forth.
really well.
Again,
Yeah,
Sheamus was just the guy there, just basically to be a bully. I'm trying to think of like a movie or a cartoon where it's like the dude's just sitting there on the sideline. They're just like watching them get beat up and everything like that. But it's that type of thing. So, I think of like American Dad or something like that when I'm thinking of it.
something
But
really goofy. Yeah.
Theory, or I'm sorry, Waller ends up losing, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep, no, you hit it
What do you
all
think?
nail on the head. I kind of already added in my interrupting ways what I kind of already think. The only thing I'll say is like, yeah, I think maybe over these next few weeks we get more directed promos where the crowd actually has like something they can remember this by, so that when the turn comes, the correct amount of pop comes, and the point here is not just to do the turn. The point is to use it as fuel to actually launch Theory as a
Where
face,
Yeah.
and not just
Where
have
was
it.
this show at?
That is such a
South
good
Carolina?
question. I believe
Greenville.
so.
I think it was Greenville,
It was
South Carolina.
Greenville,
This crowd was actually really good.
They were great. They were great.
They were like really loud, especially like in the last match with this and everything like that too. But I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. But yes,
No,
keep
you know what it
finishing
is, and I'm not this Greenville, y'all. This isn't me saying nothing about y'all. I actually know from my last job some people from Greenville. It's really that this isn't a major city or anything like that. So you probably already see what I'm getting at. Like the WWE has been a little plagued by higher ticket prices for the most part, which means people who are a bit more fancy schmancy sitting in the very front rows,
It's
and the
unfortunate.
people who are more likely to actually treat it like the best day of their life, like
Yep.
huge WWE fans would. It's more like someone who okay, they take their kid to Raw and SmackDown this week. Next month they're going to take their kid on a cruise, and then the month after that they're going to take their kid out to the island. You know what I'm saying? Like those people treat it a lot differently than the super fans, which is maybe who you used to get.
You're so right, though.
That's
You're
what I
so
would
right.
say is
You're
the
actually
reason
so right.
for why these American crowds get so. And then versus Europe, who just on its face they're already better than our crowds, but they on the other hand see it as like, well, we are only going to get this show
They
here
get this once
maybe
a year,
once or
dude.
twice a year,
Like,
exactly. So they're seeing this like, even if I'm rich, I'm here to have a freaking good time, man. This is a once.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just a difference in value in the way people see it, and I think WWE really needs to consider that with these ticket prices. They're one of the only pieces of entertainment where the crowd is truly a part of the show, and they need to consider that because like how embarrassing would it be to have a stadium with 4 times the people of AEW shows but the same dead energy? Embarrassing. That's what I would say. Embarrassing. Y'all can't make jokes about AEW when you actually bring the people in, and those people are so boring that they don't even cheer. They pop for like only the things that are like, oh, Jey Uso, oh yeah, we do that. They don't pop for anything else. Like it's so boring. It's
And
like,
I would say, I would genuinely say the people that like AEW are like the wrestling super fans, obviously. But it's like,
there's just way less of them at those shows. That's the only thing.
well, it's more of the like they would rather probably go to an AEW show because of the cost, right? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And we're losing those super fans coming to WWE.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, and popping and doing what they would do, right? So
and don't forget WWE. Not only like they also got rid of the house shows. I don't know if people remember that, but the house shows aren't a thing.
Yeah,
anymore.
they did.
That's been a thing now for several months now, and that
And
probably,
you would
that has a
think that
massive
would
effect on business. Yeah.
Yeah, you would think that would bring in more, like how you said, more
right.
people, because it's like, oh, and now we only get these twice a week. We don't get these every single, and it's like, I'm in Niagara Falls, Ontario. They don't
Yeah.
come to Canada all that often. They did,
Right.
like they come like once or twice a year, but it's just like
But those are like the shows is kind of the whole idea. I see what you're
exactly
saying.
right. So, um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I get what you're saying, and that makes so much sense that like what you're bringing up. So I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, it's you know lower. I don't want to say poverty cities. That's not what I want to say, but
They're
like
just not
lower
mainstream
income
cities. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Greenville is
that,
not a big city. Yeah, that's not a big place. So.
yeah, it's brutal, but hey, it's that's what we got to deal with. So, but yeah, if you want to go into the next thing.
Yeah, I'll take the next 3 things here because the first 2 are just kind of short.
Yep,
But,
the next couple things. Yep.
So, look, the first thing they do, I guess we'll just kind of explain it, but I don't really, as far as what is actually discussed here. So basically, the idea is that they touch on that whole. If y'all are anybody here familiar with any type of basketball, WWE has a pretty close relationship with the basketball player Tyrese Halliburton, really good point guard, drafted a few years ago. Drafted by the Kings, traded to the Indiana Pacers, and is now the face of their franchise. It makes sense that he's so tied closely to the WWE because Pat McAfee, any Indiana sports period has like a shoe in to WWE if they want it because Pat helps them get their kind of like leg.
Well, not even like
or their foot in the
Tyrese
door.
was a like grown up.
He's a super fan. No, don't get me wrong. Exactly.
He
loves that. He loves
channel.
it.
He has a YouTube channel that does like my GM stuff. So it's like,
does he really? I didn't even know
he
that.
has it
That's
with his
cool.
brother.
That's
Yeah,
cool. Okay, so then there you go. Like don't get me wrong. This is not that he doesn't deserve it. It's just more like I don't know if every other athlete around the country has that in the way that Tyrese would. And the point is, a year ago, they did a thing in the ring where it was Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson from the Knicks. They kind of just do like Logan is the heel and represents Tyrese, who is the heel in the scenario. Oh, and they were in Madison Square Garden for this, so that's where the Knicks play. And Jalen Brunson was represented by, I want to say it was AJ Styles at the time. And
yeah,
it was someone like that. It was someone like that. But the point is, nothing really came of it. And then they touched on it because at this very moment, lo and behold, Knicks and Pacers are playing each other in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. The winner will go on to the NBA championship. So they had Tyrese Halliburton on for an actual interview where Pat McAfee and Michael Cole interview him. It's interesting. I will say this. I don't know if this really belongs in WWE. It was a little strange in my opinion to have this like in the middle of the show as a promo. Nothing of worth was discussed. This was basically just a really long advertisement. Tyrese is going to get a DLC in WWE, which again is cool. Like what you just said, especially based off that, that's actually really cool. He's going to be in the game. I'm more just saying I don't know if they needed to make this a part of WWE Monday Night Raw. Not hating on Tyrese. I actually love him as a player. Used to have him on a fantasy basketball team in a different world, but yeah, Tyler knows what I'm talking about. But that's all I gotta say. Do you have anything to really say on it? I'll give you Just to
Oh,
give you the, but I figured you didn't have much. Yeah, okay. So to go on to the actual wrestling promo, Gunter is in the back getting interviewed, and just like the one earlier I discussed with Io and Becky, this is a similar idea where before Gunter can really get into this interview at all, Seth just kind of like comes in and starts talking to him. So this is what I was mentioning earlier. All these people involved in this kind of this fatal four for the championship, Seth, Gunter, Logan, and Jay are all getting their time to talk to one another and be like, hey, screw you, man. If you're the guy I end up facing, I'm going to beat you up. And it's like, okay, that's literally all these promos are. But
yep.
I'm going to add on, and I said this earlier, again, like, and I almost think it rubbed off on Gunter in this promo because he actually did have responses, unlike Logan earlier. Seth did horrible in this promo. Like, it sounded like the first one, I understand. Maybe you just have jitters. How are you going to do a promo that same day, the same night, a 30-minute? I don't know if this one was live or not. I have no idea. But the point is, like, I know he didn't like that first promo. No way he went to the next one thinking like, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to suck at this one. I don't know what happened, but he delivered lines slowly. It sounded like he was forgetting things, and Gunter started to like talk slowly, and it sounded like he was forgetting things, and they were like. It sounded like they were making things up on the spot, like that kind of thing. I don't know. It was just not my favorite promo work from Seth. Like literally, again, some of the worst promo work I think I've actually seen from anybody in the main event space in a while. Like I don't really know what happened to Seth tonight, but it's not like show ruining. I just like it was really weird and uncharacteristic of him. And let me. One thing I will say that I liked is Gunter. He was like, Seth, for someone that calls himself a visionary, like you're really short-sighted. You seem to think that like the WWE has like pegged you as their future man to represent the company, when in reality it's me. And he is in a way he's saying like you think you're the big bad heel, brother. I'm the big bad heel, and it's like yeah, you're right. You are the big bad heel. This is just Seth's heel arc for the moment, which both can happen. But it is a nice little promo. And that's all I really had to say on that. Yeah, it was just more shit talking. Before I kind of get into the next actual match, do you have anything to say about Seth and Gunter?
No.
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah,
much.
not
I think
a
I
lot to
already
add on
said.
that.
Yep.
Not a lot to add on that. So we'll get into the next actual match. We have another women's money. I'm kind of surprised they did two here, but not two for the men, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, it's weird.
it's actually weird
It
how
just makes me think now that someone from Raw on the women's side is going to win, and then someone from SmackDown on the men's side is going to win.
well, more what I'm getting at it, and I guess because this is the last one as far as people getting added to Money in the Bank, so no spoilers necessarily, but we're already at 3 women for women's Money in the Bank and only at 1 man. So the way they're going to have to find I guess that last week, maybe that Friday before Money in the Bank is where they'll add 2 from SmackDown or something like that. I don't know. But point is, this match is for women's Money in the Bank. This is Rhea Ripley, actually, Zoe Stark, and Kairi Sane is back from injury. I think she was injured, but she's back. So look, this match does not need a lot of explanation because of something very specific. This match is not normal. This match was not very good. Zoe Stark
Rest in peace, Zoe
fucking
Stark.
obliterated her knee to shreds. It is gone. She has a prosthetic leg. No, I'm just kidding. It's not amputated.
You should have taken the picture and put it in your little.
No,
your little
nah.
right
I don't even want to look at it myself. I don't even want to look at it myself. The picture, the video, all of it, y'all. If y'all don't like watching injuries, do not watch Zoe Stark's injury. Her leg twists in a way that it is absolutely not supposed to. It's pretty clear and obvious quickly. And I don't even want to watch it again. But she like screeches and hollers when she hurts it. It's like not selling.
Well, speaking of like what I was mentioning in SmackDown, the calling, like you could hear.
You can hear.
I literally remember hearing. Well, not just that, like hear her screaming. I remember hearing her saying, "Kyrie, turn around!" Like I heard that exact thing because and then Kyrie turns and she does that, and then obviously what happened. But I heard a lot of calls in this match too. I'm not. I know.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. They should probably find a way to work on that.
But again, that's not a big thing. But yeah, go keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, the point is here. This is all important because the point is, so Zoe gets hurt and she's completely out of this match. So this is decently early into this match, and this is why I say that this match kind of ended up.
Literally, I think it's within like 5 minutes.
It's within the first
few.
It's one of the first spots basically. So like one of the first real spots after the kind of initial BS that any triple threat would have. Mm-hmm. So like. What it turns into is Rhea ends up pinning Kairi Sane to be in the women's Money in the Bank. I'll just go ahead and say this. I actually think Kairi maybe was supposed to win this, and the direction wasn't going to be that Rhea would be in the Money in the Bank.
I think you might be right.
And the idea would be Kairi's back, and we'll use her being back as kind of like a lift off to push her into Money in the Bank. I don't know if she'd necessarily win, but I would imagine that they would want Rhea to do something else, or even just give her time to just do whatever. She doesn't need always. But here's the thing: what you can't have is Kairi pin her to get into the Money in the Bank. And that is the key distinction
Zoe
here,
was definitely,
boys
Zoe
and
was definitely
girls.
the pinfall person.
Zoe needs to be pinned, and she died. So I think they literally made the adjustment, and you can kind of see in the match that things got a little weird. And it's probably because the direction was that something would have. I'm wondering even if someone was supposed to run in and mess with Rhea.
With Rhea, and then Kairi
Kairi wins and beats Zoe. And then it's like, welcome back, Kairi, big moment, that kind of thing. So instead, because you have Kairi versus Rhea, what you just can't have, what you cannot have is what essentially turns into a 1v1, and then Kairi just pins and beats Rhea. Like, what?
Yeah,
that would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they had to call an audible, and now you have Rhea Ripley in the Women's Money in the Bank. So it's kind of cool, because now that's a bit like what we were saying earlier.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, if Kairi somehow goes in the back and it's like, my match was screwed up because of Zoe.
Maybe something like that.
Give me another chance or something like that.
That'd be interesting.
I could see it, but it would also be kind of weird to do that because she did get beat clean. So who knows? I don't know.
I think they should just take, like, they're a little older now. I think her and Asuka should just be the best tag team in women's wrestling. Like, I don't know why.
Well, dude, if you notice, they didn't say
damage control. Did they not mention?
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't say damage control.
That's a shame.
But they didn't say representing damage control like they normally do. So I'm assuming they quietly disbanded damage control.
I'm forgetting one of the best parts. Kairi Sane's new song is actually really cool.
It's like a little pirate ship song. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We make fun of Def Rebel a lot here because they kind of deserve it, but this song was actually really cool. Of course, what makes it a good Def Rebel song? Do you know what the answer is, Siler?
No
lyrics. They don't have any words. It's just a cool, like, pirate, like, sounds like it could be in an anime or something like that. Like, it was cool. It was a fun little. It actually gave her. I don't know if y'all knew this, but Kairi Sane is this entire time. She's a pirate. She's supposed to be like a pirate, but they've never really leaned into that like ever until now. So. Yeah, that's all. Unless you got any final words, you can take the next. I would say 3. Basically, you can just take it from here to the end if you want.
Okay,
I can touch on whatever you want.
I see. Put Tozawa in the notes. It's funny. Rusev video calling out Tozawa. So yes, we get Bowser versus Tozawa. That's exactly
this whole story is complete. I'm telling you, that's exactly how this feels. Like, I beat up Mario.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna come for you, Toad. And then I'm telling you, look, y'all. I already called it weeks ago at this point. If that match is over, and then if Rusev even looks directly at Maxine, I am gonna I win. I predicted it.
I win.
I win wrestling. No, I'm playing, but
that's fun.
that'd be hilarious. But that was a really, really short video promo.
Yeah. So short video promo, and then comes I think one of the most interesting parts.
This was actually This actually perked me up. Yeah.
We get the Judgment Day in the back, and Finn comes in after Judgment Day's in their back, like playing. Go ahead. Finn comes in the back, and Judgment Day is doing they're playing video games in their little man cave or whatever it is. All of Judgment Day is there, obviously except for Liv. And Finn Balor's like, guys, guess what? Here's the new member of the Judgment Day. Just inserting new member into the Judgment Day, and comes to be Roxanne Perez, the newly signed woman to the Raw roster. They're all looking kind of concerned, all questioning it kind of. And then Dom basically says, well, what's Liv going to think? Like, we need to think about what Liv's going to think. And Finn's like, oh, Liv's going to be fine with it. Liv's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. Like, we, for you, Dom, like, you have all of us 3, but for Raquel, she has nobody. Like, nobody can protect her. Like, for Raquel and Liv. And so, yeah, Roxanne is going to be the perfect person for that. And they're all still kind of sitting there questioning it. And Roxanne's like, look, guys, I understand. Like, I'm new. I'm just trying to find my spot. I just want to be a part of this. Like, so I got you guys gifts. And, that bastard Dirty Dom. Just I don't know what he's doing, man. But he.
You know what it is? It's the stat. He does. You know what his thing is now? He does he takes the lick and then does the spread. I love that shit, dude. That's some Magnum PI, some Magnum swag.
So if you guys remember about a year ago when Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan first were becoming a thing, Liv Morgan gave Dominic a tray full of nuggies.
Yes, sir.
Of nuggies. Roxanne Perez brings what looks like a box that you would get a T-shirt in for
Like a
Christmas,
T-shirt or something, maybe like a long piece of jewelry almost. Like
something like that. Gives him a box and he opens it up, and it's a bunch of nuggies.
It's a bunch of chicken
It's a
nuggets,
bunch of
like in a
nuggets.
present box.
And she also ends up giving not Roxanne.
Carlito.
Oh yeah, Carlito. Oh yeah, she has a gift bag. She has a gift bag, and she's like, here's your guys' stuff as well. Carlito pulls out an apple.
It's a red bag with a red apple.
And he ends up eating it. And so yeah, they just all. So Roxanne is basically giving her her gift to try and be accepted into the Judgment Day. Again, they're all still kind of concerned, but by the end of it, since he did get nuggies, Dom was like, okay, this might not be too bad. So Dominic is a womanizer once again. So yeah, that's how we end that. And then we get to the final match of the night. We get Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker. The match was okay. We've gotten it multiple times before. Really, pretty much, the match kind of gets like Braun Breaker's kind of like dominating the match basically,
Yeah.
from what I remember. He has a couple spots where he jumps out on the thing, jumps out on from the side. This is his new spot that he does. He jumps from the
hardest
part of the ring
table. Yeah.
onto the table. Does like a clothesline, like a flying clothesline.
It's very menacing.
So he does that.
The explosiveness this man has is actually scary. Like I wouldn't
ridiculous.
want to take a
Absolutely
fake
ridiculous.
wrestling bump from this dude. Like it's not,
like
it looks painful.
seriously. So yeah, he's basically eating Jey Uso. He's just beating him like a lot, like pretty bad. Like he's really just beating him down.
Beat him up. Break his neck.
Then we get Jay on the outside, and then Seth attacks him, right? Yeah, so okay. Seth comes in and ends up attacking Jey Uso.
Well, so it was like
basically
Paul
disqualify the
had
match.
baited Jay to come to the outside.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
That's
I
what it
forgot,
was.
dude.
Yeah,
I seen on Twitter. The dude said Paul was looking like this. He's like
does
Paul's
this.
looking like why I oughta.
Yeah,
like,
why
that
I
type of thing.
oughta. That's Paul is so funny, dude. He's the funniest. Dude.
So yeah, Paul did end up doing that, and then as Jay was like talking to him, then Seth comes out and hits Jay, and then ends up running as a disqualification. And what do you know? Guess who comes out after? Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Guess who comes out after? CM Punk. They fight each other. Then the credits start rolling, and then the show ends. And that's the match.
Are you about to talk about? Oh, what? Like who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Oh my gosh! It's the same thing over.
Tyler loved this match, dude.
And over and over.
No, I agree. It is like, wow, I'm so shocked.
Logan Paul's there. Logan Paul's there. Get Logan Paul.
I was gonna say that is well, no. So just so I am gonna call it. I'm gonna pie your face a little bit. It does end with Logan super kicking Logan.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah,
I did forget about that.
I'm gonna pie your face a little bit. They do end it with that. And Logan had kept the blood from earlier when he got hit.
Yeah.
They probably actually gave him fake. I guess because now that I'm thinking about it, that would have been like a 2-hour difference. It's ridiculous. But he like. It was actually really cringe now I'm thinking about it, and I'm not saying I hate Logan because of this, but it's like he like licks the blood off his teeth, and then he made this like really stupid grinning face. It was the face he made afterward that made me cringe. I was like, you already licked the blood. You don't do a smile too. You're not actually in a television show, or like you're not in a movie. But that's just me.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll add is that was like worth bringing up. Is when, so the way that it's like Sammy and all them, like Sammy comes out, he has a chair, and all he does is stands on the apron, and it's just like him staring at Braun and Seth in the ring with Jay kind of like getting held. No one's moving, literally no one's doing anything, no one's running it, Sammy's not moving in, and then the crowd literally just starts riding like CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk.
Yeah, like
when CM Punk's, when his music hits, the pop is actually really, like, there's been CM Punk entrances in the main event.
Crazy.
Yeah, especially when they know he's coming, they start to cheer his name. They're not dumb. But for whatever reason, when he came in at this moment, they lost their freaking minds. And This was one of the coolest moments I low key think I've seen in a minute, like in a weekly show. Just like, and I do literally mean like a singular moment, not like match
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. CM Punk comes out, runs down, doesn't give it a lot of time, also stands there with, I think, with a chair next to Sammy. They're just standing there, same thing, locking eyes with Jay and Braun. Music cuts out right before,
Seth and Braun.
look in my eyes, what do you see? Right before they could sing it. Crowd just sings it anyways, sings it all the way through, and then right before that, Sammy and CM run in, so it's the crowd going oh, like right when they start to fight. It was actually like that was actually a movie moment. That was actually cool. That was sick. Y'all, if there's a moment out of either SmackDown or Friday, just go back and watch that just to see that moment. That's the kind of energy CM Punk's bringing.
That was cool.
Like, that was the moment where I think it really, really set into me. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm really glad that they brought CM Punk back. And that's actually one of the cooler moments I've seen in a minute. I forget about him sometimes. Like, honestly, I do.
As someone who's seen a CM Punk match or a CM Punk like just show,
like IRL,
within the past, within the past, what I think after Elimination Chamber, it was that. Yeah, it was that. It's just. Dude, when his song hits, it's just so cool. It really is. It really is, dude. Me, again, I never went to a wrestling match as a kid. I only have ever gone as an adult. So, even though I was a wrestling fan, my family just never ended up going.
You gotta.
The closest
one
was an hour and a bit away.
You have to have an adult that likes it enough. Which me and you both, our dads were pretty not big fans of wrestling. I do remember that about our childhood. They were not happy.
But yeah, so we, like I said, it's a pretty cool and exciting thing, especially that song. It's so electric.
It's I mean, it's just a good song in general. People like it outside of wrestling. So yeah,
it's great. So I'm excited that he got that big of a pop and that like the singing, like they're starting to sing his song like they do Randy's and stuff like that too.
And that's a song that deserves it. So I was like, oh my god, it's exactly what you said. That Greenville crowd brings that, and you're like, wait a second, this is making the moment. You go up as soon as they go to Chicago. What happened? Well, no, that's a horrible example because it's CM Punk in Chicago.
No, but Chicago,
you kind of see what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying though. Okay, they go to like a. Oh, you know what? Our own backyard, DC. They go right to DC. That's you know what? They're a horrible city right now. They don't cheer for anything. They go out to like some of the Dallas, for instance. Dallas does not cheer loudly.
Nope.
Even like St. Louis was like not great. They were great for Randy at Backlash, but they weren't like, going nuts.
Everything else was not that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the American crowds really do need to bring it. And in Greenville, they brought it. That was a cool spot. I loved it. And yeah, generally, like you said, they're building towards Saturday Night Main Event. That should be fun. I actually don't really know who I would say would win that match.
Okay.
So we'll do our predictions here for WWE Saturday Night's Main Event coming up this Saturday. First match, Tyler, we got Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship. I will let you go first. Who you think comes out of this match victorious?
Jey Uso. I just like I said, I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier. Logan Paul. I don't think anything that he does is just not serious. It's gonna be a good match. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not a serious contender.
Yeah.
So I'm going Jey Uso.
It's also Saturday Night Main Event, so this would be a very weird like pay-per-view to drop the belt. I actually think it would make more sense as like a shocking.
Well, they've not done a single title change yet
on Saturday. Yeah, exactly.
So, and I think there's been 3 so far. 2 or 3, I don't remember.
There's been a few because one of them had like 2 matches on it. I remember there was a tag. You have to remember the tag belt ones too because they do a lot of those on Saturday Night Main Event. And that's what I'm also. You know what? Do you think they'll do? No, because it's on SmackDown, right? Fraxium versus Street Profits. They're doing it on SmackDown.
Maybe
this week. I was going to say they should do Saturday Main Event.
I think Saturday Night Main Event still needs a women's match. I think it. It is only 2 hours, so it's like usually they'll do like 5 or 6 or 7 matches for 3 hours.
It starts
at
8. Yeah, that's weird. That's fine.
Yeah. What is?
Sorry.
What is your prediction?
I really want to say Logan. I feel like they really desperately like. Someone's going to take this belt from Jey soon. I just don't see him as a guy that will hold this belt for a really long time. I just think it's important that he got this title run, so it kind of puts him in a stratosphere of people that he wasn't in before. But the actual idea of him holding the belt is not something that needs to be a long thing. I actually, so funnily enough, I hear what you're saying on everything about Logan. I think I guess it's a prediction in a way. I think that changes at some point here soon. I think Logan does win a belt, a true, not like a U.S. belt, like a main belt soon, ish.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's this one. I guess it would have to be this one.
Imagine him beating John Cena. That'd be insane.
That'd be like that's what I'm saying. That'd be hilarious. That'd be so, like maybe that's how they get him to be
Insane.
face. They're like, well, you're gonna beat heel Cena, or that's how
Logan
they get
was
Cena
so
to.
annoying that that John Cena had to switch back to
Yeah,
a
he switches
face.
back to a face exactly. But really, what I'm getting at is I will also just say Jey Uso. I just don't see them dropping it to Logan right now. I'm more just saying look out for that to be something that comes down the line, in my opinion. But cool. We both think Jey. Let's go to the next one. I think this one is a little harder. I don't know what. I guess you can tell me what you think.
Yeah, I don't know
CM Punk
I don't
and
know how to
Sammy
go with this one.
tag team match versus Seth and Braun. Nothing really on the line, other than I would assume the idea is like if Seth and Braun win, it kind of further establishes that they get a title shot kind of after what's happening right
Yeah,
now.
I'm gonna say Seth and Braun. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say something happens. Sammy gets distracted. Whatever. Sammy takes the pin. I'm believing that. But yeah, so I'm thinking Seth and Braun because I just don't think you can have them lose right now. If that makes sense. Like they're trying to be this big bad heel.
Yeah.
And I think like CM Punk and Seth Rollins are going to just like be fighting and off somewhere, you know what I mean? And then
Right.
Braun Breaker is going to spear and pin Sammy. That's kind of
Sammy.
what I think is going to happen, right?
I'm like,
Um,
in the back of my mind, I'm like, is this where Sami Zayn turns and he turns on CM Punk at some point, hits him with the chair or something like crazy like that? But then I'm like, no, that just doesn't feel right yet. So I think I'll just go with what you're saying and it's just Seth and Braun win the match. No, something has to happen from this. I don't think it's just I don't
it
think it's
does.
just them winning, but I'm trying to
I think it's Sammy because they were talking about like trust and stuff like that.
yeah.
I think something happens with the trust. I think something is like
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it just Sammy? Is it like the third member thing? We can't forget about that. They've really done a good job
yeah.
of making us all kind of forget
I
that.
just
But
hope it's not Sammy. I hope Sammy's not the third member. Sammy, I love Sammy to death. Uh, he's not going. He's not the future of the WWE. Unfortunately, I love Sammy.
oh,
He's
definitely
not
not.
like with Seth
Definitely
and
not.
Braun. Like he's not this. He's not. He's not a part of this. So please keep Sammy away. But anyway, sorry. Go do what you
No,
were saying.
that was about all I had left on that. Looks like we're both 2 for 2, same thing. So Seth and Braun for me as well. So we can go on to the next one, which would be John Cena versus R-Truth for a non-title match. What do you think?
No, it's definitely a title match, isn't it?
It says non-title, but if it's
Truth helps Cena retain the unsubjected title. So here to fix truth.
maybe it is for the belt. Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know. Anyway, this is a no-brainer. John Cena.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
just
even have to say
absolutely
anything.
no universe where like what? There's no universe for R-Truth. I guess there is because technically Cena, there's nothing happening with Cena right now, so it wouldn't like ruin anything. It would just obviously be like their way of getting out of this entire. I don't want to call it debacle, but I think it's like the writing. Like you were obviously touching on it earlier. Like we're a month in now of John Cena and the whole heel thing. Kind of feels weird. Feels like it has no direction. Right? Like it's again, I think it's the same. I'll just say the same exact thing I said earlier. Without Cody Rhodes as a part of it, or Roman, or just these people that
Hmm.
actually have been carrying wrestling, I think all of a sudden it sets in. Like, wait a second, I actually like those guys a lot. You can't just put John Cena back in the main event scene and everything's fine. You can't actually just do that. It doesn't work that way. Sorry.
Yeah,
And
screw
then
you,
especially
Vegas, for booing Cody Rhodes.
yeah, that's ridiculous. And especially when you see how John wrestled. I think that's what a lot of people really are harping on when they really start to go back and watch Cena and Orton this past couple weeks or whatever. Like it was obvious that it's what I said. It was like Orton is the one that's obviously like a good wrestler right now. He's been doing
He carried
it,
the
and
match.
Cena is not that great in the ring, and he like not at all. It's pretty slow, pretty clunky.
You
He might
said
even,
anymore, like he's never been. He's never been.
but point is, John Cena's definitely going to win. I'm wondering, what do you think? I mean, do you think anything happens though? Like not really the winner or loser, but like, do you think anything significant comes of this match?
Yeah, I think like R-Truth.
I think that's the more
R-Truth might
enticing prediction.
R-Truth might start the, like, what am I trying to say? John Cena's brain has been switched off,
Right.
and he's forgotten all of his past good memories,
Mm.
I think R-Truth starts that
To get him to think about it.
clearance, if that makes sense.
I think it's either that or the like literal opposite, where like there's going to be a moment of clarity like that, and John will have the option to either go ape shit and like completely. I like it'll basically be like John Cena beats him, and then at the end, instead of like
Yep.
he'll have the option to either basically walk away or continue to maul R-Truth, and it'll be like a no, don't do it, and like I think he will do it basically, and he will
Yeah.
beat the ever living snot out of R-Truth. Basically the question, more what I'm getting at is like, okay, like let's say they do that. The question is, do they have someone run in to stop it, or is the point of that to be, hey everybody, watch John Cena like put the nail in the coffin of being a heel, or maybe I just used the wrong. I think I just used the wrong saying there. But he's basically cementing that he is a bad guy. Do not think it's don't get it twisted. He is literally beating R-Truth to a pulp right now. No one's coming out to stop it. But I do think it would be fun if someone came out. My problem is the person who would make the most sense is CM Punk, but he's going to be involved with something completely different in this same night. So that's why I'm like, I don't really know where they're going to go with this. Like, I do think the most likely thing is that Cena wins and then just beats R-Truth to a pulp and then black screen to go into the next match. Yeah, unfortunately for R-Truth. But yeah,
I can see it.
All I got on that. Do you have any other thoughts on the Cena stuff right now?
No. So we both have John Cena winning, and that goes right into the next match. I'm assuming the main event of the night.
Yeah,
that's what it shows on here.
Should be fun.
Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, the steel cage match that was announced. This one's harder.
This has to be the hardest one. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Drew McIntyre.
All right, perfect. Because I'm saying Damian Priest.
Okay, so we
That's
get split.
perfect. We actually have some disagreement for once. But you're first. You do the honors. Yeah.
Damian won the first going between these two, right? I'm assuming. I think I remember, and then Drew McIntyre won the WrestleMania, obviously. So yeah, I think just Drew. I really want to just sit here and say they pushed Drew to the moon. I really want to say that. And I'm thinking with this win with Damian, Drew can possibly end up facing Jacob Fatu, or even John Cena, because he even mentioned it before. Mm-hmm. So who knows? We'll see. They signed him last year. I think it was last year, when he was like going for his contract or whatever. They signed him. So they must have, I would assume, some good plans for him. Damian Priest will just have good matches with anybody he comes across. So again, the match is going to be good. It's going to be, I love steel cage matches. One thing I hate about steel cage matches is that people can still get pinned in steel cage matches.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. But...
I hope to God they don't pin. I love it when like someone's climbing the actual cage and gets out of the cage. Like have a spot like that, you want
to know my guess? I'm guessing at whatever point that rule was established, whoever did it, it had to have been a bigger dude that was like, look, I don't want to win this match by climbing out of the freaking cage, dude. Like, can I pin him, or can you have a ref that's apparently allowed to open the door for me if I ask him nice enough? Like, that's I don't know why they don't just immediately do that every time, but whatever. No, but I'll give my, for the reason I think it might be Damian. I guess I'm doing a little bit of not cheating, but extra predicting. So I think it makes sense for Damian to win because it gives him the fuel he needs to then go off into whatever his next thing in. You remember that he just beaten Drew. I don't think Drew needs that fuel at all, because I think the next thing Drew gets involved in is none other than being the third member for Seth and Braun. I think that is what the future is.
That would be so good.
I think that's what's setting up to happen. I think this is just a nice little thing for both of these men, Drew and Damian, to do for now, and it all sets up perfectly for us to be like, okay, Drew just lost. We're not even thinking about him right now, and then he's going to come out of the crowd randomly in one of these pay-per-views coming up, something, and he's going to be helping Seth and Braun. I swear it. That's what I see in my mind's eye. I don't know if it'll be Money in the Bank. I don't know when exactly it'll be, but I think that's why it makes a lot of sense for Drew to take this L, give this idea that like two of the meanest, baddest, hard-hitting, real fighters, real fighters in WWE fought each other, and Damian came out on top. Because again, I don't think Drew needs that. I think we all really like Drew. I think what they're trying to make
Mhm.
Damian is like another Drew, where we don't even really have to think about it. Everyone just likes him, and you can put him in anything. I think because remember we were literally saying earlier, like I don't know if Damian is quite convincing enough yet. I think getting
Yeah.
this win maybe for some people would give him that. So they give him that win. It was what I was saying before. He's the one really doing. I guess the only other person doing him as much as he is Drew McIntyre. Coincidentally enough, these like hardcore extreme matches. I think it does make sense to say that the guy that deserves to win is Damian because he's the one for years now that just keeps doing them over and over and over. And like, if this is kind of a match solidifying, like, well, who's the best at that? I think Damian does deserve to get that W. That's just me.
I can agree with you.
None of that
I can
makes
agree with
sense
you. Like,
if Drew
this is a
doesn't
complete
get.
toss-up for me.
Yeah.
This is a complete 50-50
Oh no, it
coin
is.
toss.
It's a toss-up. I could even see this being one of those weird matches where they just like. No, I'm being dumb. I was going to say someone like interferes and something weird happens. No, I think someone does win. Someone will win this match. There's not going to be any antics that stop like a weird thing.
This could even be like they both get out of the cage.
They both
on opposite
climb
sides
exactly.
and
Something like
and hit the ground at the same time.
no. Someone crawls out or someone climbs over. Someone crawls out from the door and they both touch, or it's like a bang bang, and it's like, oh well, one of them lost, but it was just barely. That. Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, I guess that's predictions. Not a crazy long card, but we do have something to fight over, which I like. We don't get that too often since we kind of know our shit. We don't get misled here too often, but yeah. Other than that, do we? I mean, we're at. Let's see where we're at for this episode.
We're almost 2 hours.
We're at almost about 2 hours. Did you want to touch on Money in the Bank, or should we wrap it? And
No, we'll wrap it up and we'll
Okay.
touch on it next week because
All right.
I just realized Money in the Bank's 3 weeks away still. So
yeah,
still
so
have
we can let. I think at the very least, what we'll do, maybe like as soon as we know who each person in the match is, we'll do prediction right there and then, and like talk about.
Yep.
Because it's
That's fine.
two matches, so it actually is worth it. I think to go over like, in Money in the Bank. I look personally. I'll say this, y'all. Money in the Bank is probably one of my favorite concepts in wrestling.
I agree.
I think
Same.
it's very
Same.
cool. I think if you really think about it, it's like, okay, there's no matter what, men's, women, doesn't matter. There's two belts, always two belts. There always has been as long as we've been wrestling fans, at least. But there's this feeling like there's this extra third prize that can be won out there, and it is Money in the
Yep.
Bank. And I love that.
Yep.
I've always loved that. It means something. It means I get pretty much. I automatically get what we just discussed, one of those two belts. So. It's cool. Yeah, I don't really have much else to add. I think, WWE's in like not a bad spot. It doesn't feel like as crappy as it felt right after WrestleMania going into Backlash. Like those couple weeks started feeling really, really crappy.
Definitely a little bit better.
It's a little
Definitely a
better.
little bit
Like we're just being a little hard on them because I think what Tyler...
We know how good it can be. We know
how good it can be, and it's really what Tyler said. They are getting a little lazy. They're repeating a lot. Raw is just getting ridiculous with it, and it's like, okay.
Well, they did the same thing 2 years ago when they did the Judgment Day stuff. Judgment Day was doing the exact same
it got
thing.
randomly
every
repetitive.
Single Monday.
It's almost like they are taking... You know what? Let's take a second to talk about this. Like, I feel like what's causing an issue right now is the whole idea that they're apparently doing a draft, but not really, or like they are doing it, but they're not sure when. I guess. Like, I think that's throwing a very weird wrench into everything because it should have happened by now.
Again.
I'm pretty sure it should have already happened.
It would have happened after Backlash.
Like, it would have happened. Like, yeah, like it would have happened like a week or two ago. So it's like, this is kind of weird. You have people that. I guess they're probably planning on like, well, do we put them in a storyline right now, or are they going to be on Raw anyways against someone completely different in like a month? So what does it matter? You know what I mean? Like it's very
WWE
weird.
has yet to formally announce the dates. Plans for the annual WWE draft in 2025 are reportedly still in motion. So
that's so weird. Like
this was as of May 13th of 2025, so literally a week ago.
So you know what? I'll throw this out there. WWE might be doing a little bit of a reset right now in the sense that they're kind of maybe what they want to do is establish a new norm where the draft takes place somewhere else in the year, if that makes sense. Like their own off season, but it's not right after WrestleMania.
When's the next gap between pay-per-views? Because I'm assuming that's probably when they'll do it.
Is it between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam? Is it like a couple months break, or is there like a summer there used to be like a Great Balls of Fire or one of those or something? I just feel like in July, but I can't remember exactly.
Schedule.
But it just feels weird right now, y'all. That's all I want to say. Like,
it is.
As we say all the time, or what does it say?
So it says, okay, so we have WrestleMania, Backlash, Saturday night's main event. We get NXT Battleground, and then we get the draft.
Oh, the draft. Okay, the draft's before Money in the Bank. Okay, I see what they're doing. So they're kind of considering it like its own event.
Well, it says that. It says that. But it doesn't have a date. Like in this little thing, it says TBA, not confirmed. TBA, not confirmed.
Never mind that.
Then it says Worlds Collide, June 7th. And then we get Money in the Bank, which is June 7th as well. Yeah, this is weird. Okay. Then we get Night of Champions, which is June 28th.
Is what it is. Okay, Night of Champions is
Night of Champions is June 28th.
It's only 20 days after?
Dude, why are they doing so much stuff that's so close?
Yeah.
And then we get, okay, there's that. We get another Saturday night's main event on July 12th. And then we get SummerSlam on August 3rd.
So July.
Why are they doing these things so close?
What the hell? What the fuck, dude? They literally have events like weeks after, like only a couple weeks apart. I guess the longest break would be the 20 days,
We get SummerSlam right? August 3rd and Clash in Paris August 31st in the same month.
I mean, literally, you said it right. It'll be, Night of Champions will be the same month as Money in the Bank as well, right?
Oh yeah, June 28th and June 7th. Yeah, in the same month.
July just basically gets held over by that. So I guess July is kind of where the break is, but not really because they have Saturday Night Main Event, and I suppose it's where the draft would go, right?
And they have this Evolution pay-per-view, which is supposed to be an all-women's pay-per-view.
Oh, interesting. Well, do you see what I'm saying? So maybe what they're trying to do is figure out like a new time of year to hold the draft, and I don't know. They're probably gonna, you know what? They're gonna end up announcing that they're not doing it. I'm just gonna go ahead and.
Oh, I forgot. SummerSlam's 2 nights. And
it's 2 nights. What the fuck,
yeah,
dude? Yeah. These wrestlers ain't got. No, what am I saying? Because they don't do house shows anymore. So they're probably like, yes, finally, like some of us get to actually work.
Yeah, this is crazy, bro. This is actually insane.
Yeah, that's a lot of wrestling. I mean, I'm not gonna. I guess it's more wrestling. That's good. But
I'm not going to complain. It's just it's bad for storylines, but bad for storylines. But okay, we've definitely talked a lot. We've got some about almost 2 hours in now, so I think it's a good time to wrap up.
Yeah. Look, y'all, we say it all the time. Comment down below what y'all think about this build up to Money in the Bank. Maybe like some early predictions of who y'all think might win. We want to hear from y'all. We are streaming this right now, as always. You see our Twitches below our names. I am Dan for myself. TNTX72 for Tyler. Check us out, y'all. We are here to talk about wrestling. Obviously, at least once a week, but the idea will be that we will be getting right back into that twice a week schedule here. Like we said, I think Saturday will end up being. I mean, I'll probably go ahead and just record that live show and upload it like we do with these. I'll just pretend like that's an episode of the podcast, y'all. Y'all are gonna get a nice fat video. Or maybe I'll cut it down. You know what I might do? I might record for each match. Y'all will see on Saturday. But if you do like watching live streams, come on in on Saturday and watch along with us. Saturday Main Event. You can chat with us.
Come on, do it.
You can be a part of the stream and be in the video as well. So, Tyler, you got any final words for the people before I hit stop record?
Nope. We'll see you guys on Saturday.
All right.
Peace.
Thank y'all for being here. Peace.